and 105 foundation establishment phases. It was barely enough to get it. This time Fei Shenzong left a gold core to sit at home, and all the others came out. Wang Shenzhao usually doesn't come to outsiders once in decades. How could it be such a coincidence that in a few months, the enemy came? Of course, nothing is absolute, it really came, and Yu Yue Holy Maiden is still there. Master. Seeing the huge team of Fei Shenzong, Li Su stood up. Li Su, you seem to be here all the time? Master said. Yes, Master, I have studied here for a long time, and I have made some discoveries. I can initially open a passage for the flying boat to pass through. Li Su said. Open channel? The head is puzzled. Rise. With a movement of Li Su's hands, a large number of formations rose into the sky below. These formations lifted into the air, emitting light curtains of various colors, making this place extraordinarily gorgeous all of a sudden. Boom. In the sky, I was shocked. As you can see, after Li Su's formation rose, the magnetic barrier was separated abruptly by Li Su's formation, just like the Moses in the Western legend who separated the sea before Li Su crossed. This difficulty is much higher than that of leaving the sea. A gold core cultivator, using real energy, can split the sea. Even the nascent soul cultivator can't separate this metamagnetic barrier. No, Hua Shendu may not be possible, but Li Su, with nearly 3,000 years of formation attainments, did it. The metamagnetic barrier was abruptly separated by Li Su into a passage hundreds of miles away. This passage is different from the ones that could pass through it before. This passage is a passage through which flying boats can fly directly and spiritual chi can enter. The metamagnetic barrier has been opened. Li Elder is too good. Great, we can easily go to the north in the future. Yeah, this channel not only opened the magnetic barrier, but also drove all the demonic beasts away. On the flying boat of Fei Shenzong, many cultivators of Fei Shenzong exclaimed one by one. The former head of the Liang sect and the head of the Seven Star Valley, and the current Qiyang Elder and Langfeng Elder, are also extremely cold. He actually opened the magnetic barrier. The aunt in charge couldn't help but took a deep breath. She comes from a top family and is well informed. After seeing the Yuan magnetic barrier, she felt that the Yuan magnetic barrier was not simple. With her nascent soul late-stage cultivation base, she dare not touch it. This touch can easily activate the entire Yuan magnetic barrier, and she will be seriously injured at least, or directly hanged at most. But Li Su actually turned on the Yuan magnetic screen. There was also a look of surprise on the head's face. She has been looking at the fairy corner for so long, but she also knows the horror of the magnetic field barrier. Back then, that monster snake, from childhood to adulthood, has been living in the UNC area for an unknown number of years, getting in touch with UNC little by little, and utilizing UNC. However, this guy probably felt that his control of UNC was already unique, so he floated away, touched it a little more, and then got injured. If this guy hadn't been injured, the back wave of demonic beasts would have been even more difficult to deal with. Even this guy touched it. What about other cultivators? I'm afraid it's Washan, and I don't dare to touch it rashly. Not only did he not dare to touch it, Washan also couldn't understand the elemental magnetic shield. Li Su has already researched some clues, but with his current formation attainments, he can only separate this place, and there is no way to completely remove the magnetic barrier. Even if it can be completely removed, Li Su will not be removed. Because Li Su found out, the fairy artifact fragments in Mangkang Mountain are very likely to be real. Moreover, this thing is 100% still in Mangkang Mountain. The Yuan magnetic barrier of Mangkang Mountain is a natural formation formed by the Yuan magnetic energy emitted by the fragments of the immortal artifact, which accidentally passes through the entire Mangkang Mountain. The reason why Mangkang Mountain rises so high is also due to the immortal fragments. Therefore, the entire natural formation is integrated with the entire Mangkang Mountain. It's a bit similar to Feng Shui Array, but it's very powerful. It's not all natural anymore, because the fairy artifact fragments are equivalent to the eyes of the entire formation. Whoever goes to the large-scale dynamic magnetic barrier will face the attack of the entire natural formation. That would be even more terrifying than the attack of the celestial artifact fragments. Fortunately, This metamagnetic energy was bound by the natural formation in Mangkang Mountain. 243 Otherwise, the entire northern border will be affected after it diffuses. The main attack method of this fairy weapon is probably Yuan magnetic. Li Su thought. The magnetic element is indeed terrifying. After the fragments of the fairy artifact fell, they emitted so much magnetic energy, which formed the magnetic barrier, and Hua Shendu did not dare to touch it head-on. Li Su now I dare not go head-to-head. What he is doing now is actually taking advantage of the surrounding mountains and rivers, and setting up some small formations. Integrate with this natural formation. With these small formations, a hole was made. It is equivalent to joining if you can't beat it. His formation is integrated with the natural formation. In this way, it is possible to successfully use the passage that people could pass through before, and the magnetic barrier of the cavity element is separated by a hole. He still didn't dare to touch the entire Yuan magnetic barrier. If this is a bad thing, what purpose has been made to this natural large formation, causing the magnetic element inside to scatter, and the magnetic element storm rushes in all directions? Not only Wangshenjiao, but the entire northern border will be greatly affected. Of course, it is not easy to achieve this step. The probability of failure of the natural formation is smaller than the probability of Ji Lisheng being killed by this formation. So, even if Li Su knew that there was a celestial artifact below, he would not think about getting it in a short time. Too strong. That is the pinnacle of power. Immortal and immortal truly live the same life as the heaven and the earth, and share the same light as the sun and the moon. His current strength is not enough to obtain this fairy artifact fragment. The attainment of formation is not enough. 3,000 years of formation attainment is indeed terrifying. In the entire northern territory, nothing can compare with Li Su. But I want to solve this natural formation smoothly. Let the magnetic energy return to the fragments of the fairy artifact, and then get the fragments of the fairy artifact smoothly. That's still not enough. And his current strength is not enough. When the formation attainment is not enough, it must make a lot of noise, and get the fairy artifact fragments. It is also like a child without a backer who accidentally got a piece of gold weighing 10 caddies. It's a blessing or a curse, it's hard to say. Therefore, Li Su now only opens the metamagnetic barrier. The rest will be discussed later. Li Su is not in a hurry. Anyway, no one else can get this thing. He was able to research some clues through 3,000 years of formation attainments. It can be deduced from this that the fairy artifact fragments are still there. But the cultivators in the entire northern border feel that this thing is just a legend. From the past to the present, I am afraid that many cultivators have come to look for it, but they have found nothing. 3,000 years of formation attainments, the entire northern territory has not been able to possess. Not to mention the northern border, even the more prosperous places, few people own it. Learning formation is too time-consuming. A formation teacher needs to practice and learn formation at the same time. His progress is slow. If he wants to have 3,000 years of formation attainments, it's too difficult. Ordinary nascent souls can't live for 3,000 years. With this gap of hundreds of miles, spiritual qi can come in continuously. At the same time, the passage between Wangshenjiao and the northern border was also opened. These formations deployed by Li Su can also separate the demonic beasts. This passage is relatively safe. In addition, this channel is now in the hands of Ji Su. Li Su is also planning to build a city on the peak of Mangkang Mountain in the passage to control this passage, and it can also be used for some cultivators to trade and settle down. At this time, the rich spiritual qi belonging to the northern border has already entered. If it is the natural flow of spiritual qi, it is actually unpleasant. But Li Su set up a small formation in this channel, which has an effect similar to that of an exhaust fan. It's just that it's not air, but spiritual qi. With the entry of these spiritual qi, all the cultivators on the flying boat felt like a spring breeze hit their faces. A very strong spiritual qi. A Fei Shenzong Foundation establishment cultivator who had never been outside Wangshenjiao took a deep breath and revealed a happy expression. Not just him. All other cultivators are overjoyed. Among the cultivators of the Flying Immortal sect, except for the 3 sect masters, basically none of them have been out of Wangshenjiao, so naturally they have never been to the northern border. It is also impossible to imagine how strong the spiritual qi of the northern border is. Now, they know. The spiritual qi of heaven and earth in the north is much richer than Xi'an. Great. If this continues, we will not lack spiritual qi in Wangshenjiao in the future. A cultivator is overjoyed. If you Havinati experience the concentration of spiritual qi in the northern region, you don't think there is any problem with the spiritual qi in Wangshenjiao. But after feeling it, they know it. Not a word. I could have endured the darkness if I hadn't seen the light. In Feishenzong, all the cultivators were overjoyed. Everyone admires Li Su a lot. This time, Li Su's descendants above the late stage of qi refining also accompanied him, and they were naturally proud of Li Su, and their waists became straighter. Li Elder's move has benefited the entire Wangshenjiao, and he has been worshipped by Ziyang. Please accept Lang Feng's respect, please accept Huang Jing's bow. Under the leadership of the two heads of Liang sect in Seven Star Valley, many cultivators bowed deeply to Li Su. Unlike the sect masters, they were born and bred in Wangshenjiao. Wangshenjiao was cut off by Mangkang Mountain, resulting in a thin spiritual qi. They saw it in their eyes and were anxious in their hearts, but they couldn't do anything about it. As people who grew up in Wangshenjiao, these two masters are unwilling to leave here after they reach the Gold Core late stage, but continue to develop their own fairy sect. But there is still no hope. Although they are all at the peak of Gold Core, it is too difficult to get to Nascent Soul. Now, Li Su opened the Yuan magnetic barrier and let spiritual qi in, which is really a benefit to the common people. Li Su deserves this prayer. You are welcome. Let's go to the north. Li Su said. The huge team set off again. This Li Su is not simple. There are so many geniuses in Zijin's sacred land, but he gives me the feeling that he is even more special than those geniuses. On the flying boat, the ant who is in charge of Li Su's perception of Li Su is getting better and better. She felt more and more extraordinary about Li Su. After knowing that Li Su had so many concubines at the beginning, she still felt that Li Su was a bit playful. But as she got to know more about Li Su, she slowly saw how extraordinary Li Su was. This time, Li Su even opened the magnetic barrier, which made her even more impressed. Master, don't rush to make a move after entering, let me observe first. On the flying boat, Li Su's voice sounded. Okay. The headmaster let out a soft hum. The two of them stood on the bow of the Feishenjiao. Looking from the back, they were an exceptionally good match. The huge team rushed all the way into the northern border. Then, rushed towards Qingyang Mountain, which is a high mountain located in the north of the northern border. It took a few days to get close to the area of Qingyang Mountain, and streams of light could be seen around it. Some little immortal sect, immortal cultivation clan, and rogue cultivators are all rushing here. The weaker ones tend to form groups. However, below the late stage of qi refining, basically none of them came. After Fei Shenzong's flying boat approached Qingyang Mountain, he saw that there were already a large number of flying boats in the sky. There are also some large spirit beasts, and there are many people standing on them. This should be a person of the spirit beast sect, who is good at driving spirit beasts. The difference between spirit beasts and demonic beasts is that one has a milder personality, can be tamed, and understands human nature, and its body contains Lingyuan and spirit power. Demonic beasts, on the other hand, are brutal, bloodthirsty, and almost untamable. There is nothing spirit beast in Wangshenjiao. There are naturally in the northern border, and some fairy gates often raise some spirit beasts. The spirit beast sect is good at raising spirit beasts. Almost all the people from the 7 immortal sects came, but Fei Shenzong came a little later. Let's go, master. Li Su flew to the heights with the leader, her aunt, still not ready to show her strength. On a round white frisbee, all the nascent souls dispatched by the 7 great immortal gates this time. There were a lot of people, there were 19 people. Counting Li Su and the leader, there are 21 people. The one who dispatched the largest number of nascent souls should be the Bixia sect, and there are in Japan and the West. There are actually 4 people in the Danshin sect, but all 3 are nascent soul early stages, and there is only 1 nascent soul middle stage. Sect, who is good at pill refining, is really arrogant. The spiritual roots of these nascent souls are probably not very high. After nascent soul, they are a little impatient. In Li Su's opinion, their Dan is not strong enough. He has pill refining cultivation base for 1,500 years now. The most powerful pill refining master in Danshin sect is probably not as good as Li Su. There is also one case with 3 nascent souls, the other 3 cases have 2 nascent souls, and the Wind Thunder School only has. The Purple Gate was originally supposed to have 3 nascent souls, but one was hung in the underground devil cultivator more than 300 years ago, which is a pity. However, sometimes quantity is not the key. For example, although Shuiyumen only has 2 nascent souls, the strength of Shuiyumen is stronger than that of Dangshizong. Because Lu Xinshui is on the 6th floor of nascent soul, it is only a little bit away from the 7th floor of nascent soul. Quality is better than quantity. After saying hello, Li Su saw that the one sent by Bixia sect this time was a cultivator at the peak of nascent soul. This cultivator already looks a little old, and there is a decayed aura about it. His lifespan is running out, Li Su thought. Not only was it almost exhausted, but Li Su also noticed that this cultivator probably used many life-extending medicine pills. Life-extending medicine pills have a feature that if the same kind of medicine pills are used all the time, the effect will be weakened. For example, Zenshu Dan can prolong life by 10 years. The first is 10 years, the second may only be 9 years. Moreover, for nascent soul cultivators, this kind of medicine pill, which is useful for mortals and low-level cultivators, has too little effect on them. The life-extending medicine pill needed by nascent soul cultivator is not simple. In other words, if this peak nascent soul doesn't break through to become a god, it will take at most 100 or 200 years to say goodbye to the world. At this time, nothing works. Is Bai Luo's father still not here? Li Su saw Bai Luo, but not her father. When Bai Luo saw Li Su, there was still joy in her eyes, but this place was all nascent soul. After saying hello, she didn't speak anymore. Since everyone has arrived, let the head of the Loyan sect activate the formation first, and I will open the entrance at dawn tomorrow morning, and then work together to open this place. The nascent soul peak cultivator said in a deep voice. It is good. Many nascent souls nodded one after another. The head of the Loyan sect came to the front. Rise. Below, under the operation of many Loyan sect disciples, formations were activated one after another. The entire space in front of him trembled. This is to use these formations to shake out the Xianmen ruins. Until night, these formations are still shaking the space ahead. It was the next morning again. The sun is rising. Time is up. The peak nascent soul took out a piece of magic treasures, and when the first ray of sunlight came over, he absorbed that ray of sunlight into the magic treasures and hid it in one direction ahead. Boom. After shaking for a day and a night, there was this strike again. In front of him, a thin crack suddenly appeared in the seemingly empty space. As soon as the crack came out, an incomparably ancient aura rushed over. Here, it has been dust sealed for an unknown number of years. It was only recently that I was able to have a chance to open it. Shoot together. The peak of nascent soul let out a loud shout. Many nascent souls shot out one after another. Li Su also restrained his own aura. Before coming, he added a lot of restrictions to his body, just to avoid being noticed abnormalities when he made a move now. Without these restrictions, even if the cultivation base is lowered, it will be difficult to hide in front of so many nascent souls. 21 nascent soul, all shot. This time, none of the magic treasures were used. Even spells were not used. Instead, use spirit power to forcefully expand the crack. In the sky, the sun is shining brightly. Below, many cultivators gathered from the northern border looked on in awe. The nascent soul cultivators shot together, even if they didn't use magic treasures and spells. This power, far away, still makes people palpitate. Look, Ji Senior is there at this time. There are still nuns looking for Li Su. Boom. It was then seen that under the unanimous attack of the nascent soul cultivators, that crack was finally propped open. Through the crack, it can be seen that the inside has just been exposed to sunlight. It can be vaguely seen that there are huge and incomparably high mountains inside, and the spiritual qi in these mountains is abundant, just like a fairyland. The incomparably rich spiritual qi also rushed out. Sure enough, there is a collection of spiritual veins here. That's great, haha. Their nascent soul laughed out loud. Outside the Xianmen ruins, as the crack was opened, the head of the Loyan sect and other formation masters in the sect took action one after another. They kept unleashing formation flags. The purpose is to use formation to maintain this channel. After more than 10 minutes, they made a big passage. I'll go in and find out first. After Bixiazong's nascent soul peak finished speaking, he rushed to the Xianmen ruins. Jin Sr., wait a minute, there is a problem here. Li Su's voice suddenly sounded. Jin nascent soul heard Li Su's voice and stopped. Friend Li Dao, what have you found? Li Su Fei arrived in front of the passageway of the ruins, quickly injected several formation flags into it, and threw out another thing. In the next second, there was a shock inside. Immediately afterwards, the picture surface I saw changed drastically in an instant. Why so much water? A nascent soul cultivator can't help it. Not only is there a lot of water, but you can also see that on the opposite side of the passage, a large number of sea beasts surround the passage. These sea beasts, also demonic beasts, are nothing but demonic beasts in the sea. Immediately afterwards, perhaps Li Su's formation flag was destroyed, and the inside became the previous scene again. Sea beast. Why are there sea beasts here? Some nascent soul puzzled. Not only was he puzzled, but the cultivators from the northern border who came this time, as well as the cultivators from the 8 great immortal sects, were all puzzled. I know. Once the Sea Clan was powerful and launched a terrifying war. There is no record of that battle now, but it is said that the water of the North Sea rose to a height of 10,000 feet and submerged the entire northern border. Kim surnamed Cultivator Dao. As the pinnacle of nascent soul, he is the strongest nascent soul present and the longest-lived nascent soul. His current age is probably more than 4,000 years old. I don't know if he still has the hope of breaking through to become a god in this life. In Li Su's opinion, the possibility is not high. The less longevity, the lower the possibility. He is already going downhill now. Unless there is a heaven-defying opportunity, breakthrough is too difficult. Jin Sr., is this Xianmen ruins a legacy from that time? A nascent soul road. They had obviously heard the rumor too, but didn't think of it. It should be. Otherwise, why would this ferry gate be destroyed? Looking at it now, after they couldn't stop it, they should have blocked the entire ferry gate and sealed a large number of sea beasts inside. This ferry gate is indeed in a spiritual vein. Otherwise, the descendants of these sea beasts would not live so long. Kim surnamed Cultivator Dao. Jin Sr., what should we do? The head of Fenglei sect asked. Of course it's going in. Sect leader Shueui, you are good at the cultivation technique of the water system, and you Shueui sect will take the lead in this battle. How about it? The cultivator surnamed Jin looked at Lu Xinshui. Of course can. Lu Xinshui did not refuse. Disciple Shueui listened to the order and form in formation. Lu Xinshui gave a soft drink. Below, the disciples of Shuiyumen flew into the sky one after another, forming a mysterious circle. Lu Xinshui and Lu Xinyue also flew down at the same time. Of the twin sisters, one was dressed in white and the other was dressed in green. If it wasn't for the fact that they were dressed differently, it would not be easy to tell who was who. Since the disciples of Shuiyumen are all female cultivators, as soon as they appeared, they attracted the attention of all the cultivators present. Shuiyumen is indeed much stronger than Feishenzong. The current Feishenzong, after the merger of the 3 schools, does not have as many gold core cultivators as Shuiyumen. There are 25 gold cores in Watermoon Gate, and hundreds more in Foundation Establishment. This pair of beautiful-looking sisters came to the forefront. With the same appearance in their nascent soul cultivator bodies, they are the peerless beauties that many men dream of. Their whole bodies surged with true energy, and all the Shueui sect disciples formed seals one after another. Brilliant beams of light circulated in the magic circle formed by them. Around the entire magic circle, there is a beautiful halo. Go. The next second, Lu Xinyue moved, gathered the strength of all the disciples of Shuiyumen, and issued a spell, rushing straight into the passage. The inside of the passage was suddenly broken through, and the restrictions used to hide the eyes were also broken through. Then I saw that the seawater inside evaporated instantly. A large number of sea beasts in the seawater disappeared completely before they could react. There really isn't even a scum left. Get in. Although the cultivator surnamed Jin is approaching his lifespan, as the peak of nascent soul, his momentum is still undiminished, and he rushed in with magic treasures in hand. Behind him, other nascent souls rushed in at the same time. Be careful. The restrictions here are too powerful. These guys are so familiar with the restrictions here, let's not rush in rashly. Restrictions are powerful, which means that this fairy gate was once very powerful, and we might be able to find ancient secret methods. Let's eat it bit by bit. Sea beasts are not to be feared, that is, restrictions are more difficult to deal with. There are tier 4 sea beasts, so be careful. About an hour later, many cultivators had entered the Xianmen ruins. Here, except for the cultivators from the 8 immortal gates, the rogue cultivators from the northern border have all entered. A big battle has ended, and the cultivator in the northern border rushed into the Xianmen ruins for the first time, and obviously won. The surrounding seawater has been emptied, but there are too many ancient restrictions in this site, which separates the entire site. The seawater is also separated. So in other areas, there are still a lot of dark seawater. This kind of seawater can block the detection of divine sense, and with the existence of restrictions, it is almost unrealistic to use divine sense to explore here. At present, everyone is under the high mountain that they saw before. There is not only one high mountain, but many, continuous. These high mountains are now actually submerged in seawater. In some areas inside, due to the existence of restrictions, the seawater did not enter it. Each one magic treasures to explore the restrictions. If you explore one place, you can record a merit. As long as you are careful, you will be fine. A large number of magical items were sent down. The cultivators in the northern border have a set of staff. This magical item is divided into 2 types, one is for body protection, and the other is for detecting restrictions. This is the most important role of rogue cultivators in the north, Yilu. Otherwise, the strongest rogue cultivators are no more than gold core. Why give them 5% of resources? To some extent, it is indeed cannon fodder, but they are voluntary. And Xianmen didn't do too much, and gave them a magical item for body protection. The restrictions here are really scary. Moreover, these are ancient restrictions, which are very different from the current restrictions, not easy to detect, and more dangerous. It is naturally invisible to the naked eye. When I first came in, there was a nascent soul that I touched in the battle. Fortunately, many nascent souls blocked the restrictions attack together. Dididi, a magical item flashes red. Here's a place. A cultivator yelled. Let me see. A formation master from Loyunzong passed by. Be careful. This restrictions border is blurred, don't touch it. The formationist carefully checked it out. Li Su, the restrictions are too dangerous, be careful. On the other side, the headmaster reminded Li Su when he saw the restrictions when he came in before inspecting. Those sea beasts are very cunning, seeing that they can't beat them, they deliberately lured the cultivators to the restrictions, and then touched the restrictions here. If there is only one nascent soul here, under the attack of this ancient restrictions, it will either die or be disabled. Li Senior, do you also do research on restrictions? After entering here, Bai Luo leaned over to Li Su's side. Li Su let out a huh, and continued to play spells with both hands. Following his movements, the restrictions that were invisible to the naked eye appeared in front of him. To the naked eye, it's just some transparent film. Seeing that Li Su actually made the restrictions appear, Bai Luo couldn't help but widen his eyes and watched, and the headmaster's gaze also fell on Li Su. In the next second, Li Su quickly played the Ju, and it seemed that the restrictions were quickly eliminated under Li Su's Ju. Gone? Bai Luo was taken aback. Gone. Li Su took a step forward, and this restrictions placed at the entrance was broken by Li Su just like that. Li Senior, I didn't expect your formation to be so powerful. Bai Luo praised sincerely. His formation attainments have improved again. The master couldn't help thinking. At this time, Li Su has already moved forward. The restrictions are so powerful, we can't crack them. Let's dig out the range first, and wait for the head and Uncle Wu to come over. Several Loyunzong disciples, in front of a newly discovered restrictions. The cultivators in the northern border have spread out, exploring in all directions. The strategy of the cultivator surnamed Jin is to devour the past bit by bit, taking it peak by peak. However, the ancient restrictions must be ascertained first. After finding out, the people of Loyan sect will find out the approximate area. At that time, those who can be bypassed will be bypassed, and those that cannot be bypassed will either be broken by force or find a way to crack. Several Loyan sect disciples were still discussing, and behind him, Li Su made several spells. Immediately, the ancient restrictions they were investigating were directly deciphered by Ji Su. Disappeared? Several Loyanzong disciples were taken aback. Then, they looked back and saw the profanity. It's Li Sr. Several Loyan sect disciples were shocked. They didn't expect that the restrictions could be broken by Li Su so easily. Jin Sr. These restrictions are quite difficult to deal with, and we can only slowly protrude out of its borders. Those sea beasts can go around, and we should be able to, but we don't know how many people will die. In front of a restriction, the voice of the head of the Loyan sect sounded. This restrictions is more critical, and it is the only way to the mountains. The head of Loyan sect didn't have the confidence to crack it. Although the Loyan sect is good at formation, the most powerful formation master in their sect has only studied formation for more than 1,000 years. That is himself. The gold core formation teacher who died underground before, the formation talent was very good. If he didn't die, he would be better than him. Unfortunately, he died underground. If you can't solve it, you can only go to explore the border. With the difficulty of this restrictions, those who go to explore will probably suffer a lot of casualties. Let me do it. At this time, a voice sounded. The head of Loyanzong saw it, and it was Yi Ji who spoke. Friend Li Dao is on restrictions, do you have research? The head of the Loyan sect asked. Li Su let out a huh, and quickly left the village. The ancient restrictions here are really hard to deal with. However, Li Su found that the difficult thing is not how clever the restrictions are, but because of their age. His 3,000 years of formation experience once again played a great role. It can be seen that with Li Su's shot, the restrictions were quickly made visible by Li Su. Moreover, Li Su has not touched the attack mechanism of restrictions. This is the rarest. So easy to make restrictions visible? Fallen Cloud sect leader was taken aback. After appearing, Li Su shot again and again. The horror of restrictions is that although restrictions are a type of formation, many of these things are arranged by the cultivator with pure essence. The more powerful the cultivator, the more terrifying the arrangement. The difficulty of layout is also much lower than formation, and the functions are naturally not as comprehensive as formation. The restrictions here are obviously arranged by a very strong cultivator. After so many years, it is still amazingly powerful. But it is extremely difficult to crack. Around, other nascent soul cultivators looked at it one after another. Prepare. 10 minutes later, Li Su let out a soft drink and played the last spell. Then I saw that with his light drink, the restrictions collapsed all of a sudden. Above, a large amount of black seawater rushed in, and the sea beast hidden inside obviously didn't expect it, so it followed. Many nascent soul cultivators reacted very quickly, making moves one after another. The sea beast suffered heavy casualties and was completely killed. The cultivators of the north push forward again. My friend Li Dao, you are amazing. The head of the Loyan sect couldn't help but admire him. Fortunately, I just happened to do some research on ancient restrictions, and after all these years, the power of these restrictions has weakened a lot after all. Li Su is very humble. Haha, friend Li Dao, you are being modest. From this point of view, you are 1,000-year-old. No, a rare genius in our northern border. 0. That's right, friend Li Dao, you gave us a pleasant surprise this time. With you here, this time should be safe. The other nascent souls spoke one after another. The restrictions are a bit difficult to deal with. Breaking them by force may cause the contents inside to self-destruct. Friend Li Dao, you are going too fast. After a while, Luo Yunrong's surprised voice sounded. Because in front of a mountain, he was about to say that the restrictions were difficult to crack, but Li Su cracked it. Immediately afterwards, after Li Su continued to decipher the other restrictions inside, he deciphered another formation, and took down the mountain. This is the elixir garden, and those sea beasts couldn't get in. There are so many elixir, each of which is more than 10,000 years old. Now I'm rich. As soon as the restrictions were cracked, the first wave of harvest was ushered in. This place is actually the elixir garden of this Xianmen ruins, with a huge area, occupying several hilltops, and it is also guarded by a special formation. There are still a lot of elixir inside, and all of them have grown for a long time. Li Su saw that many of these elixirs were not of high level. They are all low-level elixir. However, these elixirs have grown for too long, so their value is not bad. As long as there is spiritual qi, low-level elixir can also grow continuously. This elixir garden can be opened, and Li Dao will be the Taoist. Li Dao can occupy 15% of the elixir alone, and he also has the priority to choose, not in the share occupied by Fei Xianxi. Do you have any opinions? The Jin cultivator looked at many nascent souls and returned. Many nascent souls nodded one after another, expressing that they have no objection. Not only can Li Su occupy 15% by himself, but he can also be selected first, and he does not take up the share of Fei Shenzong. However, if it wasn't for Li Su, it wouldn't be possible to open it at all. If you break it by force, it will self-destruct, and if you break it, no one can crack it. Li Su was not polite either, and started to choose. He mainly chose the elixir needed for the longevity pill, and using these elixir for pill refining, the effect is not so good. Secondly, it is to improve the cultivation base. He doesn't need these things himself, but his own women do. After Li Su finished picking, the other elixirs were collected and finally distributed uniformly. This time Li Su's performance is so outstanding, Fei Shenzong's share will definitely not be small. Haha, friend Li Dao, you are too good. I didn't expect this time to be Li Dao's solo show. Li Dao, after this time, I don't know how many girls will want to be your concubine. Li Dao is young and promising, I really admire the old man. After taking another mountain peak, many nascent souls admired Jisoo very much. These restrictions are easy for Li Su. Restrictions, in fact, it is still possible to force so many nascent souls here. But the problem is that once it is broken by force, it will also destroy the contents inside. This makes the cultivators beware. Like this mountain, there are many buildings inside, which are blocked by restrictions. The cultivators found a lot of things in it, such as some cultivation techniques of this fairy gate, notes and the like, and these things are also valuable. Seeing how powerful Li Su is, the nascent souls in the northern border all looked at Li Su with admiration. Li Su was surrounded by many nascent souls, and the sea beasts came, so Li Su didn't need to fight at all. Several nascent souls will still be guarding by Li Su's side. It seems that it has become the group favorite of many nascent soul. Loyan sect leader, it's been 3 months, is there still no clue? The restrictions are a bit tricky, I'm afraid I can't solve them. Is it okay to break it by force? It can't be broken. These restrictions are connected to the Guardian Array. With the support of spiritual veins, I'm afraid it will be difficult for Bihai Senior to break it by force. On the high mountain, on the main peak of the Xianmen ruins, a conversation sounded. Be careful, sea beasts are coming again. A large number of sea beasts have already attacked. These sea beasts are home in the water, but they can naturally fight out of the water. Under the leadership of Li Su, many cultivators in the northern border have reached the main peak. The main peak is generally the main activity area of AAA Ferrygate, and the restrictions here are particularly powerful. The restrictions here are also exceptionally powerful. 3 months ago, when Li Su was cracking the restrictions here, he suddenly disappeared. It's been 3 months and Li Su hasn't shown up yet. The cultivator in the northern border has been guarding here for the past 3 months, and the Loyan sect leader is trying to crack the restrictions here, but there is no progress. The space left for the sea beasts has become smaller and smaller, so the sea beasts' counterattacks have become more and more fierce. In the past 3 months since Li Su disappeared, the cultivators in the northern border have further realized the importance of Jisoo. Because of these 3 months, the cultivator in the north has not been able to advance further. Now there are not many areas left, only the main peak is left. All other areas have been captured. It can be said that Li Su has contributed a lot to winning other areas and reaching the main peak so quickly. Otherwise, in a few decades, the northern border may not be able to reach here. Some areas are not even accessible. This time the harvest in the northern region was not small. In addition to the elixir, after Li Su opened the restrictions of the ferry gate warehouse, there were also piles of various things on the curry side of the warehouse. There are spirit stones, there are all kinds of rare materials, and there are also a large number of magic treasures. As for the medicine pill and the like, there is basically nothing left. It has been too long, and many medicine pills cannot be kept for that long. Even if some medicine pill, 143, looks intact, it is no longer effective. Due to the huge role of Li Su, many nascent souls have also reached a consensus. Li Su still selects 15% of the curry items in this warehouse first, and the remaining cars are divided by the north. 15% is quite a lot. Among the 8 great immortals, some sects are not even able to get 10% in the end. But no one has an opinion. The restrictions here are too difficult, like this warehouse, even if it is not Li Su, it cannot enter at all. It is difficult to break in by force. Now, seeing Li Su disappear, many nascent souls and many immortal cultivators from the northern border are waiting outside restrictions. I hope Li Senior is okay. Yeah, thanks to Li Senior this time. Otherwise we would go to explore the range of those restrictions, and we don't know how many people would be killed or injured. In the distance, the immortal cultivators in the north are very concerned about Li Su. Especially female nuns. Many female nuns have been frowning for 3 months since Li Su disappeared. The sea beasts are still rushing, but the rogue cultivators in the northern border don't need to take action to deal with the sea beasts. The remaining sea beasts are too strong for them to deal with. There should be enough time. At this time, Li Su's voice sounded from a huge square in the main peak of the Xianmen ruins. For these 3 months, he deliberately disappeared. The purpose is to find a reason for his cultivation base to come to the nascent soul middle stage, so that the cultivator in the northern border can have a reasonable mind. The first floor of nascent soul soared to the 4th floor of nascent soul, which was really scary. This is the nascent soul period, not the Qi refining foundation establishment. Spiritual roots are close, like ordinary 6th rank spiritual roots. After reaching nascent soul, the remaining 1 or 2,000 years of life is exhausted, and it is very likely that they will not be able to reach the 4th floor of nascent soul. Otherwise, why did Li Su's cultivation base in 4000 only reach the 4th floor of nascent soul? If the time is stretched a little longer, stretched to more than 100 years, or even decades, it can still be forcibly explained. But now it is 1 or 2 years, because it is too short. Li Su doesn't want to cause extraneous issues and arouse suspicion for no reason. This time, it was right. Because there are a large number of inheritance stels in this square, and there is a person sitting in front of each stele. But as soon as Li Su came in, these people turned into ashes. After coming to this square, Li Su also understood what happened in this ferry gate through a jade slip. Back then, the Sea Clan set off a gigantic wave that swept across the entire northern border. The High Clan's attack was too well prepared and came too fast. Before the northern border could react, the huge waves came fiercely. Xianmen in the northern territory hastily accepted the challenge. All the strong men from this ferry sect went out, but in the end, only a small number of people escaped with serious injuries. After escaping back, they prepared to block the ferry gate with a large number of restrictions, evacuate here first, and prevent it from being obtained by the Sea Clan. This can also explain why, in the elixir garden, all the old high-level elixir have been pulled out, leaving only a large number of low-level elixir. Because they evacuated in a hurry and wanted to take away the valuable things, naturally they didn't have time to take away the less valuable things slowly. But they were still a step too late, and the restrictions had only filled up when they were attacked by a large army of the Sea Clan. Seeing that there was no hope of breaking through the siege, the people in this ferry gate activated a large formation to completely block the ferry gate to avoid being found by other Sea Clansmen. They only need to deal with the Sea Clan army that came in. After the great battle, the rest of the immortal sect and the Sea Clan army were both wounded, but the Sea Clan army was still strong. Fortunately, they can stick to it with the restrictions here. After the two sides fought intermittently for thousands of years, they still couldn't do anything to the Sea Clan army. Seeing that they couldn't fight and couldn't get out, some cultivators whose longevity couldn't hold on left the inheritance here and made some inheritance stone tablets. These inheritance stels are also similar to those who are destined to get them. Li Su's luck was good, As soon as he entered, he was recognized by the largest inheritance stone tablet. Moreover, this immortal sect used to be quite good at formation, and this largest inheritance stone tablet came from a powerful formation master. The restrictions here are all placed by the other party. The other party's cultivation base had already reached the level of deity transformation at that time. Therefore, the information in this inheritance stone tablet is basically related to formation and restrictions. And it is not basic knowledge, but some specific formation and arrangement of restrictions. For Li Su, it was a very good harvest. The actual cultivation base of the opponent is not the key. For formation teachers, their own cultivation base and formation attainments are two different things. Of course, for a formation master with insufficient cultivation base, it is impossible for the formation master to be too high, because the lifespan of the other party is not long. Li Su does not lack basic knowledge now, his formation experience is basic knowledge. What he lacks is some specific formation and specific restrictions. If you think about it yourself, it will take a lot of time and energy. Now, there is a pie in the sky. He has nearly 3,000 years of formation experience, and it will be easy and enjoyable to learn the formation and restrictions in this inheritance. If it is Loyan sect leader, the other party wants to learn the formation and restrictions in it, but they are still a bit unqualified. This is for Li Su, not what pie in the sky is. This trip, Li Su actually didn't want to gain anything, just find a reason to increase the cultivation base so quickly. But never thought about it. There is such a good thing. Now, with this inheritance stone tablet, it is easy to explain. Li Su said that he got the largest inheritance stone tablet, and before the other party died, he sealed the cultivation base in it using a secret method. This is naturally difficult to do. Like the Jin surnamed cultivator at the peak of nascent soul, once his lifespan arrives, his cultivation base will not be easy to pass on to others. This is not the kind of transmission of internal strength in martial arts. Passing is also possible, but it will be greatly discounted. The biggest possibility is to blow up others. And it may have a counterproductive effect. It will increase the cultivation base of others by a large amount in a short period of time, but it will greatly affect the subsequent cultivation. After a long time, this person may be useless. But here is the ruins of the ancient fairy gate, and the cultivation technique is very different from today's. Li Su put away the inheritance steel again, and that's what he said, the cultivation base has grown again. Other people naturally have room to make up their minds. Therefore, Li Su didn't touch anything here, but was ready to go out. At this point, outside, the sea beast's attack is still going on. It can't escape. With the cooperation of a group of nascent soul cultivators, that incomparably cunning fourth-order sea beast finally had no escape. The head also participated in the siege of this fourth-order sea beast. On the other side, Lu Xinshui's little sister and Lu Xinyue brought Shuiyumen's gold core to deal with another group of sea beasts. There are no fourth-order sea beasts in this group of sea beasts, so it is easier to deal with. Lu Xinyue looks almost identical to her older sister, but as little sister, her personality looks more lively. This liveliness is only relative. As a nascent soul cultivator, she is also over 1,000 years old, and she rarely speaks outside. She had just beheaded a sea beast. At this moment, suddenly, an extremely ferocious sea beast rushed forward and opened its mouth to spit. Fourth order. Lu Xinyue's complexion changed, her hands formed seals, and a small magic shield suddenly magnified. Boom. The magic shield trembled from the blow. Lu Xinyue felt as if she was hit hard, and her true energy couldn't help shaking. This is because the opponent's attack is too strong, far stronger than hers. Even if she blocks the opponent's attack with the help of magic treasures, her whole body will still tremble. Just like when Li Su blocked Yuyue Holy Maiden's blow with the Qingyun mirror, his whole body felt sour. Such an attack, with a few more hits, she couldn't stop it. Boom boom boom. Sure enough, the fourth-order demonic beasts attacked one after another. Heart Moon. Lu Xinshui, who was besieging another fourth-order sea beast, noticed it and was shocked. But it was too late. Lu Xinyue's magic shield couldn't stop it at all, and was blown away abruptly. The gold cores around her attacked one after another, but they couldn't do anything about the sea beast. The attack came again, and the true energy in Lu Xinyue's body hadn't calmed down, so it was too late to dodge. She was about to inspire the whole card to block, suddenly. A shadow appeared, and a light curtain suddenly stretched out, blocking the sea beast's attack abruptly. Li Su. Lu Xinyue was overjoyed. What, friend Li Dao came out. The surrounding nascent souls looked around, and when they saw Li Su's figure, they were overjoyed. As soon as Li Su blocked the attack, the true essence in his body surged, and the aura belonging to the fourth layer of nascent soul was overwhelming. In the next second, the Fei Shen sword quickly attacked. You fellow Taoists, help me take down this beast. Li Su drank lightly. That sea beast is not weak. This guy has reached the fourth late stage, which is equivalent to nascent soul late stage. In addition, it dived over with the help of black seawater and attacked suddenly. This caught Lu Xinyue by surprise. Lu Xinyue's strength should be around the fourth floor of the nascent soul middle stage. If outside, face for nascent soul late stage, she is not so passive. This time it was attacked by the opponent. These sea beasts should be descendants of the former Sea Clan army. The spiritual qi here is strong. Although the sea beasts in places like the spiritual medicine garden cannot enter, except for the area protected by the restrictions of this fairy gate, the things Hailu can eat are still. Spiritual qi itself is the best food. Facing these fourth stage late stage sea beasts, Li Su still basically made a move. That sea beast was extremely ferocious, but Li Su didn't fall behind. Li Dao friend this breath, a nascent soul immediately sensed something was wrong. Not just him. The other nascent souls also sensed that something was wrong. Li Su was on the first floor of nascent soul before, but in the past 3 months, his aura and spiritual pressure have suddenly exploded. Judging by the breath and spiritual pressure, Li Su is now on the fourth floor of nascent soul. It's only been 3 months, how come friend Li Dao is on the fourth floor of nascent soul? The sect leader of Fenglei sect couldn't help but widen his eyes. He is only on the second floor of nascent soul now. This guy's progress is quite fast. Hundreds of years ago, after he became nascent soul, Fengleizong became the 7th largest fairy gate in the northern region. The one at the bottom, of course. After hundreds of years, he reached the second floor of nascent soul. His spiritual roots are not bad. He could have joined a fairy sect, but he wanted to be the head of a fairy sect himself, so that he would be more comfortable. Who would have imagined that Li Su surpassed him so quickly, and soared to 3 floors in one fell swoop? The other nascent souls were also shocked. Immediately afterwards, they also saw that the 4th order late stage sea beast that had just beaten Lu Xinyue so helplessly was actually blocked by Li Su of the 4th stage nascent soul. Not only blocked it, Li Su also had the upper hand faintly, but it was not so obvious. After all, there is a gap of 3 layers, and the gap between late stage and middle stage is still huge. Of course, this is also the case that Li Su did not activate the secret technique. This sea beast is extremely cunning, and it may not be able to kill it even if it activates the secret technique. The secret technique is still kept as a trump card. How is he so powerful? Next to Li Su, Lu Xinyue was a little stunned. After she was caught off guard just now, seeing that she couldn't stop her, she was ready to use the whole card she had finally obtained. But never thought that Li Su ran out to save her. Now, Li Su not only showed the 4 layers of cultivation base of nascent soul, but he is also so powerful that he can gain the upper hand when fighting a late-stage sea beast. This surprised Lu Xinyue a little. Not only was she surprised, everyone present was shocked. In addition to being shocked, there is also doubt why Jesus' cultivation base has risen so fast. 4th floor of nascent soul, how could it be so fast? The ant in charge was puzzled. There was also surprise in the head's eyes, but more doubts. Immediately afterwards, she made a move to help Li Su deal with the late-stage demonic beasts. 4 layers of nascent soul. His 2 yuan and 40 fen infant is probably the top nascent soul. Not far away, Bai Luo's eyes brightened. Help friend Li Dao first. Although the other nascent souls were puzzled, they all made moves one after another. So that's it. The fellow Taoist really got lucky this time, and this is also the chance for the fellow Taoist. More than an hour later, in that huge square, a cultivator surnamed Jin said. That fourth order late-stage sea beast saw that the situation was wrong, and finally escaped. However, this guy was pierced by Li Su's flying immortal sword and suffered minor injuries. Li Su didn't go after it. Now that the place is about to be opened, the sea beast can't escape. He brought all the nascent souls to this square, and explained the reason why his cultivation base rose. Naturally, he didn't explain it in such detail, and gave these nascent soul more room for imagination. Anyway, there are so many inheritance stone tablets here. Let these nascent souls guess what inheritance stone tablet Li Su got. Naturally, there is no need to explain this opportunity in detail to others. The nascent souls won't ask either. Seeing that this inheritance steal actually allowed Li Su to rise 3 floors in 3 months, although the nascent souls were surprised, they slowly accepted it. Also envy this kind of opportunity. Those who are destined to get it, according to the default rules of the northern border, are generally not counted in the resource allocation. Even if it counts, it is still thanks to Li Su that I can enter here. Li Su is still the first choice. The inheritance here seems to be obtained by someone with predestined relationship. Let our disciples come in first. If there are no suitable ones, let the rogue cultivators come in. Kim surnamed Cultivator Dao, it is good. Many nascent souls have no comments. Disciples from the 8 great immortal sects entered one after another. Li Su didn't bother with this matter anymore. This trip to the Xianmen ruins was complete for him. Friend Li Dao, thank you for your help just now. At this time, Lu Xinyue came and said gratefully. That's right, if friend Li Dao didn't take action, Xinyue might be injured this time. Lu Xinshui also came. When this pair of sisters stand together, the attraction they bring is super doubled. I don't know, if they give birth to their own baby together, will the baby they give birth look similar? Before Li Su knew it, she thought about having a baby again. Whenever you have time, Li Dao, you must come to Shuiyumen as a guest, and Xinyue will also host a banquet to thank fellow Taoist. Lu Xinyue's voice sounded. Okay, when I send Mengmeng over next year, I will definitely come. Li Su said. Mengmeng will be 12 years old next year. Friend Li Dao, when you come over next year, I have one more thing to ask you. Lu Xinshui said again. Oh? I would like to ask you to help me see if you can take the time to strengthen the Shuiyumen's guardian formation, we will pay you. Okay. Let's see then, Li Su complied. Haha, I've been chosen. In the square, from time to time, some immortal cultivators burst out laughing. As long as it is selected by the inheritance stone tablet, the inheritance stone tablet will emit a faint light to cover the other party. 10 days later, these inheritance stells will have owners. From time to time, some immortal cultivators have their cultivation bases increased. Looking at it this way, there are really cultivation bases in some inheritance stells. This makes Li Su's explanation more reasonable. After this incident is over, Li Su can continue to develop continuously. After the time is extended later, and when his strength rises, he doesn't have to be so scruples like this time. This time is mainly because it was too short, and it took more than a year to go up to 4 floors, because it was scary. One of Li Su's daughters also obtained an inheritance stone tablet. For her, it's not bad, it can make her grow faster. Immediately afterwards, Li Su and many nascent souls entered the main peak building. There are still some things in these buildings, but not too many. Immortal cultivators carry all their belongings with them. In this immortal sect, Yinwang's strong man died in the battle with the Sea Clan. This cultivator who escaped back, Li Su felt, might not be the strongest in this ancient fairy sect. From the current point of view, this ancient immortal sect is much stronger than the Bixia sect. 15 After finishing the main peak, the cultivators began to deal with the seawater above. There it is. Let's go together. Finally, the 4th order late-stage sea beast was discovered. This guy, there is no escape now. There are more than 20 nascent souls, and there are nascent soul peaks in late stages here. In the end, the sea beast was beheaded by the cultivator named Jin. Here, it is completely done. No wonder this guy was able to reach the 4th late stage. The spirit stone's mine below was gnawed by a small half, and the spirit vein was almost destroyed by it. Numerous nascent souls were quickly discovered. Under the high mountain of this fairy gate, due to the existence of spiritual veins, the Spirit Stones mine was also formed in the past countless years. These sea monsters drilled holes one by one, leading to the Spirit Stones mine, and gnawed away a lot of Spirit Stones inside. Therefore, the strength of these sea beasts is not considered weak. The offspring of the sea beasts bred, but the cultivator trapped in the fairy gate did not leave any offspring. He probably felt that if he left offspring, he would be trapped by sea beasts and couldn't get out, so it would be better not to keep them. At this point, the ruins of this fairy gate have been cleared. Next, it's time to distribute the benefits. Although the Spirit Stones were gnawed by sea beasts a lot, the remaining Spirit Stones should not respond. The scale of this Spirit Stones mine is many times larger than the one discovered in Mangkang Mountain. The gold cores of the 8 great immortal gates have all made their moves one after another, and they want to quickly mine the Spirit Stones mine. Gold core shot much faster. The nascent souls discussed the distribution. After discussing for a whole day, finally, the allocation plan came out. Li Su alone still accounts for 15%, and this 15% is extra. That is to say, after subtracting 15% from the total, the rest will be distributed by the North. On this point, all nascent souls agree. Li Su's role is there, and such a distribution plan is naturally convincing. The rest is still counted as one copy, which is 100%. However, the proportion of Fei Shenzong is a problem. Li Su has already accounted for so much. Although Li Su belongs to Fei Shenzong, if the credit is counted again, Fei Shenzong has taken too much. But if you don't think about it at all, it's not fair to Fei Shenzong. Therefore, in the final allocation, the Bixia sect had the most, 20%, and the Fei Shen sect reached 14%, and Li Su's factor was taken into consideration. Otherwise, the Flying Immortal sect will have at most about 7%. Another 60% will be distributed by the other 6 cases. The Fenglei sect was the least, with only 6%. The other 5 sects were not far behind, all around 8 to 10%. The Shuehui sect played a significant role in this battle, reaching 12%. The remaining 5% will be distributed to other cultivators in the north. Li Su has no objection to this distribution plan. His harvest alone is almost comparable to that of Bai Lu. After the things were distributed, Li Su packed several storage bags. Most of the things Li Su picked were various refining materials. As for the cultivation technique class, I also transcribed several copies. There is also a secret method to strengthen the soul, which Li Su also transcribed. These medicine pills are useless and worthless. Master Chiang, do you want them? Li Su looked at the head of Dang Shizong. Friend Li Dao, just give me a pill, I'll take it back and study it. Dang Shizong is the head of the sect. These waste medicine pills have no value, so naturally they are not counted in the allocated resources. Li Su is going to take it back and have a look, maybe he can reverse the pill recipe. By the time everything is distributed, a month has passed. This time, the 8 great sects of the Northern Territory spent several months here. But everyone's gains are good. Although Li Su has the priority to choose, but apart from the elixir, what Ji Su chooses are rare refining materials. It's not that rare refining materials are not important, but that even if they have good refining materials, they can't find a refining master to make them. There are no very powerful refiners in the northern border. Even if it is a cultivator named Jin, he can't even recognize some refining materials. Their need for these rare refining materials is not so urgent. The spirit veins are still here, close this place, and after thousands of years, there will be another spirit stones mine formed, and we will put medicinal herbs into it, and open it once every 100 years, how about it? After all the things were distributed, Jin Cultivator suggested. This is preparing to treat this place as a panacea garden. Okay. The other nascent souls agreed. Huh? Where did friend Li Dao go? Maybe go study the special restrictions in the back mountain. At this time, someone discovered that Li Su was no longer there. I just said that there is a problem. It is possible to trap a cultivator to death in the restrictions of the main peak. Even if the opponent is seriously injured, how is it possible that the Sea Clan does not have a strong person of the same level? At this time, in the back mountain, in a special place, Li Su's voice sounded. After taking this place down, everything became clear. However, Li Su has never found any trace of the strong man in the Sea Clan. Even if he died, the bones would still be there, unless the bones were eaten by sea beasts. This situation is also possible, but Li Su thinks it's not that simple. You know, in the restrictions of the main peak, there is a cultivator, and the other party's restrictions are still very powerful. Even if this cultivator was seriously injured before, he and the cultivator of this immortal sect can be blocked at the main peak and let them go out. How can there be no strong ones among the Sea Clan? The situation at that time was actually a bit embarrassing for both parties. After the cultivator found out that the army of the Sea Tribe had entered, he was worried that more Sea Tribes would come over, so he had to completely block the place. In fact, after the High Clan outside were beaten back, if he could go out and open the blockade, he would be able to survive. But the Sea Clan army that came in was not weak, and he couldn't get out at all. For thousands of years, this guy tried many times, but he couldn't beat him, so he could only be trapped to death. If it were me, I would make peace with the Sea Clan and talk about it after we go out. Li Su thought. But at that time they did not know why they did not make peace, and it is also possible that neither side knew what was going on outside. Or both sides are red-eyed, and there is no possibility of importing. Li Su searched for a long time, and finally found an extremely hidden restrictions here. These restrictions are too difficult to find, and the location is remote, even the sect leader of the Fallen Cloud sect can't detect it. But after Li Su found it, he successfully cracked it and entered it. The space inside is not large, it seems to be in the middle of the mountain, and there is a crystal coffin inside. Inside this crystal coffin, there is a woman sealed. The woman is very delicately dressed, and the lower body is also wearing clothes, but it looks like a mermaid skirt. Li Su knows. That's not a fishtail skirt, her lower body is just a fishtail. This woman is the authentic Sea Clan, instead of sea beasts. Shark. Li Su whispered. Most likely a shark. To be precise, San. He has never been in contact with the Sea Clan, but he heard about it from nascent soul in the northern border these days. The current Sea Clan is far less powerful than before, and they seldom approach land. Not only the shark, but the other party also wore a delicate little crown on his head, looking like a dignified princess. Looking at it like this shark girl should be the strongest Sea Clan in the Sea Clan army, who can make the cultivator unable to kill him. The other party was lying in the crystal coffin with his hands on his chest, looking as if he was in a deep sleep. Her face is exquisite, like a sleeping beauty. I don't know whether it is dead or alive. Li Su turned his gaze to the side again, where there were several skeletons. He blew one breath, and the bones turned to ashes. In front of each skeleton, there is a box. Li Su walked over. Restrictions. This box also has restrictions, it cannot be opened by force, and it will self-destruct once opened. On the ground, there is also a jade slip. Li Su read jade slip and understood the origin of these boxes. These skeletons are also Jiao women. They are the subordinates of the shark girl in the crystal coffin, and they are extremely loyal. The message these shark girls left in jade slip is that if anyone breaks in here, as long as they are willing to send this crystal coffin into the sea, they can get their shark beads. Eating shark beads can not only prolong life, but also increase cultivation base. Could it be that she's not dead yet? Li Su looked at the crystal coffin. The skeletons of the other shark girls have all turned into ashes. I don't know how many years this place has existed. Is this shark girl still dead? It is also possible that she is dead, and her men just want people to send her body back to the sea. Li Su picked up those boxes and began to study them. Above restrictions are relatively simple and rude. You can't open them by force, and they will self-destruct when you open them. But after a few minutes, Li Su opened a box without self-destructing. These restrictions are too simple for Li Su. His current formation attainments may not be comparable to that of the formation masters in the transformation stage. The strength of the other party is God transformation, so it must have spent a lot of time in cultivation, otherwise how can it reach God transformation? The time spent on formation and restrictions may not be 3,000 years. The restrictions he released are powerful, mainly because the difference between restrictions and formation is that the power of restrictions itself has a lot to do with one's own strength. Many restrictions are simple and crude, not as mysterious and profound as formation. The restrictions of this box are not difficult for Li Su. Li Su opened it, and sure enough, there was a shark bead inside. He closed it, and opened the other boxes, and saw that there were shark beads inside. There are 4 pieces in total, which is not bad. He put it away. Then, after thinking about it, Ji put away the crystal coffin again. It can be put into the storage bag, which means that she is not a living thing now, but if she is in a state of suspended animation, she can also be put into the storage bag. Li Su thought. He felt that the other party could not be alive, and that the other party might be a deity. How many years has it been? In the curry of this fairy gate, many low-grade spirit weapons have been rotten, so they can only be used as materials for re-refining. Some high-grade spiritual tools have been stored for too long, and they have already failed to reach the high-grade level. Even the corpses turn to ashes. How could Washan live so long? Let's take it away first, and wait for when Li Su arrives at Washan, and then come to study it. In case something happens, don't worry. If the other party is still alive, then 850 is in a state of completely freezing himself. After so many years, there will not be much strength left. After taking everything away, Li Su came out. Friend Li Dao, where have you been? A nascent soul just saw, curious question. Found a restriction, researched it. Li Su said lightly. Oh, we just discussed, seal this place up, plant medicinal herbs, open it every 100 years. Really? That's fine. Li Su casually chatted with each other. After this time, Li Su's status in the heart of nascent soul in the northern border is different. Li Su's formation attainment is much more formidable than the head of Loyan sect. Formation is used well, and it will be very useful in many cases. There are very few powerful formers. Therefore, some nascent souls naturally became enthusiastic about Li Su. Soon, other nascent souls also came. There are also some heads who want to ask Li Su to help improve the sect protection formation when he is free. Li Su did not refuse, but the time must be determined by him. When his time is free, actually is not available. A few more days later, after many immortal sects had arranged everything, the troops began to return. Gold core is left here. The next step is to send disciples to plant medicinal herbs, and each fairy gate has a hilltop, which is opened once every 100 years, so as to ensure the concentration of spiritual qi inside. Goodbye, everyone. The 8 immortal gates left one after another with their harvest. The cultivators in the north also left one after another. Li Sr., for you however, before leaving, under the surprised gaze of the head ant, many female cultivators from the northern border boldly flew up and gave Li Su some small gifts. Among these small gifts, there are also written letters. During this trip to the Xianmen ruins, Li Susu completely conquered the hearts of many Shu. After Li Su's reputation as a concubine lover spread, it actually made some nuns' hearts more active. Then, when he went back, Li Seguang had received a lot of gifts and letters. I'm afraid the ancestor is going to take a concubine again. I'm going to work harder to cultivate. The ancestors have more and more outstanding descendants. If you don't work hard, you will be compared to them. A descendant of Li Su in Fei Shenzong thought. Master, plant the elixir first, and I will pick it later. As for the spirit stones, you can assign them yourself, you don't need to give them to me. Li Su, I asked for half of it for you. No, you keep it for yourself. This time the harvest is not small, I have to take a good inventory. On the flying boat, as Li Su discussed matters with the sect leader, Fei Shenzong was in sight. The harvest this time is indeed great. After Li Su came back, it took a lot of time to make an inventory, and then he had to refine some elixir into pills. The growth period of these elixir is too long. Even if it is a low-level elixir, it has a very good effect. And when Li Su was busy, his performance in the Xianmen ruins this time spread throughout the northern border again. These materials should be able to refine treasures. In Fei Shenzong, Li Su has divided the refining materials into several categories. This time I got a lot of rare refining materials. Among them, there are many refining materials, which can even be used to refine treasures. The level of magic treasures, magical item, spirit artifact, treasure artifact. Magical item is for Qi refining foundation establishment, spirit item is for gold core nascent soul, and treasure item is for Washan and above. The basic rule is that one level applies to 2 realms. One for low grade, one for middle grade, one for top grade, and one for top grade. The powerful magic treasures can also be divided into more detailed lines. Just like realm, due to the product to the first rank. That is to say, for the same top grade magic treasures, there may be a gap in power. This gap, when the magic treasures level is not high, the feeling is still not obvious. But at the treasure level, it is obvious. The power of the same high-grade treasures may vary greatly. For example, the 7th rank and 9th rank treasures are both top-ranked treasures, but their power is definitely different. Among the refining materials obtained this time, there are a large number of materials for refining treasures. At present, Li Su has more than 1,000 years of refining experience. With more than 1,000 years of refining experience, it is actually possible to refine treasures, but the prerequisite is to let Li Su see the treasures first. A more secure approach is to refine experience first. This time, there are no treasures in the ruins of the ancient fairy gate. If there are any, after so many years, no one has used them, and they may have been downgraded. It's not in a hurry. Li Su was not in a hurry. The materials for refining treasures are very difficult to find. Especially now. But in the era of the ancient fairy gate, materials were not as difficult to find as they are now. Therefore, Li Su mainly chose these materials. With these materials, Li Su is not sure about other treasures. But he is sure to refine the Dian sword to the treasure level. Because in Jade Slip, there is a refining method of Dian sword. As for the flying immortal sword, Li Su still needs to study it. Li Su is not in a hurry. At present, the top-grade spirit weapon is enough. Even if it is replaced with a treasure weapon, it will not be able to exert its full power if it does not reach Washan. Like the sect leader, she is currently on the 2nd floor of Nascent Soul. Giving her a treasure is not conducive to her displaying the strongest combat experience. Children wielding swords is not a good thing. This time, Li Su has been busy for several months in Fei Shenzong's refining and pill refining room. It's still close, forget it, let's develop first. In the past few months, Li Su has refined a large number of medicine pills, and also completed all the arrays needed by Dian sword formation. But he failed to refine the Dian sword of treasure level. Just a little bit. Therefore, Li Su decided to continue developing. He needs more descendants with spiritual roots to increase spiritual roots and cultivation base. Master, these medicine pills are for you. In Fei Shenzong, the minister handed over a lot of medicine pills to the door. This is specially made by him for the master. In the past few months, the head has not closed door training, and will visit Li Su from time to time, and even help him personally. The elixir obtained by Fei Shenzong was also handed over to Ji Su for distribution. Li Su asked the master to plant a large amount of elixir first, and then slowly refine it into medicine pill. Master, this set of flying immortal sword has reached the level of a top-grade spiritual weapon. Li Su handed over another set of flying immortal sword to the master. This is the shark bead I got by chance, master, you take it too. Then, Li Su stuffed another shark bead to the master. The headmaster was stuffed with so many things one after another by Li Su, and he didn't pay attention to those things. Even if, among these things, there are extremely rare shark beads. She looked at Li Su blankly. Master, is there something on my face? Li Su touched his face and asked. The head's pretty face turned red rarely. Li Su, why are you so nice to me? The leader suddenly asked. Master, don't you treat me very well? Li Su blinked. He can't say that he has long regarded Master as his own woman in his heart, and wants her to give birth to his own baby. Although, his current cultivation base has surpassed the head. However, at this stage, it is estimated that it is still a bit difficult for the head to give birth to a baby for him. Li Su could tell that the head of the house had something on his mind. The arrival of the head aunt also brought some pressure to the head. But it's obvious that her aunt is kind, so where does the pressure come from? It can only come from her mysterious family. Therefore, the head of the sect devoted himself to cultivation. Li Su feels that the head of the sect will be about to break through again in 10 years or even less. This entry was astonishingly fast. You know, the foundation of the sect leader is damaged, and it is not known whether it has been repaired. In front of Nascent Soul, Her cultivation speed was not too fast, it was because her foundation was damaged. The head doesn't know what spiritual roots are. Li Su, do you know what the best spiritual roots are? The master spoke. Around, she has quietly laid down simple restrictions, which can isolate this place, and even if others use divine sense, they cannot eavesdrop. Spiritual roots. Li Su said. He felt that the head might have to say something to himself. Li Su doesn't know much about spiritual roots, he only knows that the first-rank spiritual roots is currently the best known. Other different spiritual roots, like Yuyue Holy Maiden's dark spiritual roots, are only suitable for cultivating Heavenly Devil Kung Fu, a dark attribute cultivation technique. But in terms of grade, I am afraid there is only second rank. There are also some different spiritual roots, such as holy spiritual roots, which also have first rank and second rank, but the attributes are different. First rank is already the highest rank. But some different spiritual roots, if they reach the first rank, it often has some other effects. No, it's the immortal spiritual roots. The master spoke. Fairy spiritual roots. The former third-rank spiritual roots can be called heaven spiritual roots. Heaven spiritual roots can survive the 5 declines of Diva and become the spiritual roots of Mahayana. However, whether they can become immortals depends on personal good fortune. The headmaster said softly, "Master, what are the 5 declines of Diva?" Transcend tribulation, we are still too far away. There is another kind of spiritual roots, that is, immortal spiritual roots. This is also a type of alien spiritual roots. Alien spiritual roots also have ranks, but immortal spiritual roots can only be first rank. The head said again. Li Su didn't interrupt this time and listened. The scary thing about spiritual roots is that, except for Diva's 5 declines, all realms have no bottleneck. As long as there is no accident in the middle, becoming a fairy is almost a certainty. Master said. Li Su's expression was startled. Good guy. Fairy spiritual roots is so awesome. However, there are too few fairy spiritual roots, and there is not one in the whole world in 10,000 years. All sacred lands have special sacred artifact monitoring. Where there are fairy spiritual roots born, it will often lead to competition among sacred lands, and even war. Having said that, the headmaster looked at Li Su. And I am the fairy spiritual roots, she said. Li Su's expression changed completely. Master, you are too powerful. He grabbed the head's hand and was overjoyed. Fairy spiritual roots, if you want to give birth to a baby for yourself, what kind of baby will be born? The master's expression froze. She never expected that Li Su would react like this. She wanted to tell Li Su how severe the situation she was facing now was. Once her spiritual roots were revealed, she drew a clear line with the family again, and the consequences would be disastrous. Think about it. Back then in the family, she was the most dazzling pearl in the family, and the mother and son dared to transfer her spiritual roots to his son forcibly while the ancestor and her parents were away. Now, she's outside. In order to prevent her from growing up to retaliate against them, the mother and son might send someone to Xiao Xiao to attack them. Not to mention others. Of course, her cultivation base is now deep and her foundation has been established. At this time, it will be very difficult to transfer to spiritual roots. The success rate is almost 0. But don't forget, there is one more thing. That is Devil Cultivator. When the time comes, Devil Cultivator will rush towards him like a hungry dog that smells meat. If you can't transfer to spiritual roots, can't you seize the house? Unless she is willing to join Zijin's sacred land, she can practice with peace of mind, but in that case, she has to leave here. That's why the head of the sect is so careful, never showing his face in the north, never revealing his own appearance. She would rather live in the remote Wangshenjiao than develop in the north. She even changed her surname. Her name wasn't Shangguan Shui. Moreover, even if Li Su was happy for her, why did he grab her little hand and rub it there non-stop? She is a master. The head is a little helpless. Seeing that Li Su was happy there, she couldn't easily withdraw her own hand. Master, it's all over now. When the disciple arrives at Washan, you won't be too far behind. Don't worry, Master. This disciple must let you arrive at Washan as soon as possible. Li Su patted his chest and said, Immortal spiritual roots, after transforming into gods, regenerate babies. Then the baby born must be first rank no matter what. Li Su, if someone finds out about my presence here, I'm afraid I can only leave here, because my enemy. Master's enemy is my enemy. Well, Master, I understand what you mean. You take all these things, go to practice quickly, the disciple has surpassed you now. The words of the master were interrupted by Li Su. After learning that the leader is the fairy spiritual roots, Li Su's enthusiasm instantly became stronger. He wants to go to Washan quickly so that the head can give birth to a baby for him. The headmaster looked at Li Su, who left cheerfully, with question marks in his head, wondering what happened to Ji Su. Stimulated by her fairy spiritual roots. It's not like, Li Su is so happy, and his growth is not slower than her. The head has always felt that Li Su's spiritual roots are no worse than hers. Immortal spiritual roots are indeed powerful, but there are also some abnormal spiritual roots, such as holy spiritual roots, which are still very powerful after reaching the first rank. First rank spiritual roots, not bad. Different spiritual roots just with some special effects. Of course, sometimes these special effects work amazingly. Xiaoshui, you disciple, you obviously grow up so fast, why don't you want to cultivate hard? A month later, when I was ready, the head of closed-door training heard the voice of my aunt. What's the matter, auntie? Asked the master. He's taking a concubine again. The head aunt was a little speechless. Li Su took another concubine. The boss is not surprised at all. Over the past 200 years, she has gotten used to it. She thought it was a big deal to just take a concubine. If Li Su doesn't even want to take concubines, the head of the house might think it's abnormal. Let him go. The leader also gave up. She can't help it, now Li Su has surpassed her master. In the past, she wanted so much to help Li Su cut through the dust. Fate, the result didn't work out, now. I'm afraid there is no other way. Anyway, Li Su grew up so fast, Li Su had no choice but to go to the head. Xiaoshui, how is your foundation repaired? Aunt asked. The head said, it's still close. Li Su gave me a shark bead from a nascent soul stage shark, which should allow me to recover faster. Nascent soul shark bead. Such a precious thing, where did he come from? The head aunt was surprised. Immediately, she smiled again. Xiaoshui, he is so kind to you. If your cultivation base is up, you will be a very suitable couple. But if this kid wants to marry our Xiaoshui, no matter what, I have to give it to a real wife. The head of the sect blushed, and before the aunt had finished speaking, she had already disappeared. Master, Li Sr. will hold a concubinage ceremony on the 10th of next month. Did Li Dao take a concubine again? He elder, you go there in person and send a congratulatory gift. Li Dao has a promising future, and we have to make a good relationship. Yes, Master, in the Falling Cloud sect, a gold core elder set off. Not only the Loyan sect, but also the 7 great immortal sects of the northern lands sent out gold core elders to send congratulatory gifts when they heard the news of Li Su's concubine ceremony. After all, it is a concubine, not a wife. If it is to marry a wife, these heads have to go out in person to make sense. Now, send the gold core elder, that's enough. But Li Su has never married a wife until now. The news of the opening of Mangkang Mountain has already spread, so when Li Su's concubine ceremony was held, densely packed flying boats came. This scene, even the people of Los Angeles, who are used to seeing immortals, were all overwhelmed. There are too many fairies. Moreover, the immortal this time is said to be a more powerful immortal outside. Indeed many. This time, not only the 7 great immortal sects sent congratulatory gifts, but also some gold core immortal sects, gold core clans, and foundation establishment clans in the Northern Territory all sent congratulatory gifts. Now Mangkang Mountain is open, and you can come and go freely. Coupled with the fact that Li Su became famous this time, many cultivators wanted to make friends with Li Su. In addition, Li Su is famous for being a concubine, and there are also a large number of cultivating families who want to marry Li Su. Therefore, this time, a large number of immortal cultivating families brought their daughters who are as beautiful as a flower and have a good cultivation base. The meaning of drunken man is not only about wine. This concubine ceremony was also extraordinarily lively. Master, the congratulatory gifts have been delivered, and Li Sr. has also returned some gifts. Friend Li Dao is too polite. In Luoyanzong, a few days after the ceremony, the Gold Core Elder returned. Master, Li Sr. is going to take a concubine again, and the ceremony will be held on the 30th of this month. A few days later, the head of Luoyan sect received another report from a disciple. Are you going to take a concubine again? He elder, you can make another trip. The head of the Luoyan sect, Liao Hao, said, Yes, master. He elder set off again with a congratulatory gift. In the northern border, the elders of several other fairy gates also set off again. The Shaoshen sect and the Shuxian clan have only been back for a few days, and after a few days of rest, they set off again. It is not close to Wangshenjiao here, and it takes more than 10 days to reach Wangshenjiao in a farther place. As for the dissemination of news, in the northern border, there are special people who collect news, and then sell it in the major fairy cities. Through the communication stone, even if there is a delay, it usually won't last long. Now that Wangshenjiao has been opened up, those who specialize in collecting information also have a station in Wangshenjiao. Li Su's second concubinage ceremony this year was still lively. But, Master, Li Sr. is going to take a concubine again, and the ceremony will be held on the 20th of this month. Within a few days, the head of Luoyan sect received another report. Concubine again. The head of the Luoyan sect proved himself, and in the end, he still sent an elder to set off. Master Li Sr. is going to take a concubine again, and the ceremony will be held on the 15th of this month. Master Li Sr. is going to take a concubine again, and the ceremony will be held on January 28th. Next, the head of the Luoyan sect will be able to receive news every few days. The expression on his face was somewhat helpless. Li Su is so good at taking concubines, he gave a congratulatory gift for the first time, but if he didn't give it later, it wouldn't look like it. Li Su may have considered this situation, and even specially returned the gift, so as not to let them suffer. Sect leader. Do you want to change someone? I haven't been in the sect for more than 3 months this year. He elder, who was in charge of delivering gifts to Li Su, was about to cry. For a year, Li Su kept taking concubines, and he kept running. After a whole year, most of the time he was either giving congratulatory gifts, or on his way back to the clan after giving the congratulatory gifts. For a whole year, I stayed in Beijing for more than 2 months. Moreover, Li Su seems to be continuing to accept. This is simply endless life, more than concubines. When is it ahead? Li Sr., Zhang, on behalf of Luoyanzong, specially came here to send a congratulatory gift to Li Sr. Congratulations. Falling Cloud sect? Did he elder not come this time? Li Su asked casually. Li Sr., he elder has something to do, so this time I will do it. Zhang elder hurriedly said. He didn't dare to say that because he elder had been going back and forth to Li's mansion for the past year, he was only able to practice for 2 months in the whole year, and he was about to collapse. One after another, the heads of other immortal sects also came. Li Su found that several elders of the Fairy Gate had also changed. He didn't care either. After accepting the gift, he would ask someone to return a gift later. In order to show their sincerity, these Fairy Gates gave very rich gifts for the first time. But they didn't expect Li Su to be so accepting. The first time they gave a big gift, they were embarrassed to reduce the gift later. Li Su kept taking concubines again. For a long time, it was not good for these immortals to send such heavy gifts. After all, courteous reciprocity. No matter how rich these fairy sects are, it is not good to keep taking other people's money. Li Su is not willing to take advantage of others for nothing and get a bad reputation. That's why Li Su will return the gift. Another female nun was brought into his family by him. This is a female nun from the Foundation Establishment middle stage, and she also came from a family of immortal cultivators. The immortal cultivation family in the Northern Territory is several grades higher than the immortal cultivation family in Wangshenjiao. However, the northern border is still dominated by immortal sects, and no immortal cultivator family is strong enough to have nascent soul. No, Li Su's Li family is now in the minds of many people. I am afraid that it is a cultivating family that can compete with Xianmen. Because the current Li family, even if Yuyue Holy Maiden is not counted, apart from Li Su, there are also 3 gold cores and a bunch of Foundation Establishment concubines. The 3 gold cores are Su Yun, Qin Xiaoyu, and Qin Fairy. Fairy Qin has already given birth to a baby with pretty good spiritual roots for Li Su, and her belly is growing again, and there will be a second one soon. Among Li Su's descendants, there are already several Foundation establishments. This wave of Li Su gained a lot in the Xianmen ruins, refining a large number of medicine pills, and these medicine pills have not used up too many elixir. The age of these elixirs is too long. Even if it is a low-level elixir, the effect will be astonishing after such a long time. With these elixir pill refining, Li Su had to dilute the dose. For example, Qi Gathering Pill, among the 6 materials needed, originally needed a Phoenix Immortal, but now, it only needs to be cut as small as a fingernail. Otherwise, the refined alchemy will explode if eaten during the Qi refining period. Has Yuyue not succeeded yet? After accepting this concubine, Li Su went to see Yuyue Holy Maiden, and found that she was still breaking the seal of Heavenly Devil. It's been more than a year, didn't she say that it will be done in a few months at the earliest? Seeing Yuyue Holy Maiden with her eyes closed, Li Su felt her state for a while and didn't bother her. Li Su felt that Yuyue might have discovered something new, and she was doing a show operation that he couldn't understand. Because Yuyue has actually reached the 4th floor of Nascent Soul. Li Su hasn't seen her practice in these years. Why did she suddenly reach the 4th floor of Nascent Soul? You know, Yu was still a gold core hundreds of years ago. Although the cultivation of Devil Cultivator is fast, the hidden dangers of Devil Cultivator to the late stage are actually great. For example, Bai's Cultivator, Devil Cultivator, Breakthrough Nascent Soul, is easy to die. This is the biggest hidden danger. When the cultivator Bai's surnamed kills pill refining, the lightning disaster when he break through Nascent Soul is many times that of ordinary immortal cultivators. This guy can survive. There are also some hidden dangers, such as easy instability of Xinxing, breeding of Heart's Demon, Qi deviation, and even sudden death. When she wakes up, she will naturally tell me. Li Su was not in a hurry. Moreover, he sealed Yu's room so that he could concentrate on closed-door training inside. Yu's current state does seem to be in closed-door training. If Nascent Soul Cultivator is closed-door training, it will take a long time, as short as a few years, as long as decades, and there is even a Nascent Soul closed-door training for more than 100 years. After inspecting Yu's situation, Li Su sent Mengmeng, the best daughter he had with Yu, to Shueui Gate. Mengmeng is 12 years old. Mengmeng, Xinyue Aunt will be your master from now on. You have to listen to her at Shueui Gate, you know? Li Su touched Mengmeng's little head and said, "Okay." Mengmeng is a little bit reluctant to part with Li Su. This girl is usually attached to Jisoo. But Mengmeng nodded sensibly. "Don't worry, Li Dao, I will treat Mengmeng like my daughter." Lu Xinshui Road. Mengmeng is a 3rd-rank spiritual roots, so she will naturally teach them well. Friend Li Dao, I have already had someone prepare a dinner for you. You saved me last time, and I haven't had time to thank you yet. Lu Xinyue is here. The dinner was indeed ready, and it was extraordinarily sumptuous. At the dinner, Lu Xinshui and Lu Xinyue personally entertained Li Su. This pair of twins, Nascent Soul, looked more and more charming in the night. The Water Moon Gate is actually what we inherited from Master. Her old man, whose lifespan was exhausted, was unable to break through. Before she passed away, she handed over the Water Moon Gate to us. Lu Xinshui talked about the origin of Shuiyumen. When mentioning Master, she felt a little sad. Her master is also a powerful Nascent Soul cultivator. Compared with her, her master's fate was quite rough. He was hurt by love when he was young, and was later captured by an evil cultivator and became a human cauldron. Her master finally planned to kill the other party, and after going through ups and downs, she finally became Nascent Soul. Therefore, Shuiyumen was established, only accepting female nuns, and giving these female nuns a place of shelter. Because I have been drenched in the rain, I want to hold an umbrella for others. But her master has been unable to break through after reaching the peak of Nascent Soul. Hundreds of years ago, I ate all the medicine pills that can prolong life, but my lifespan was still exhausted, and I sat in the Shueui Gate. Before sitting down, he handed over the Shueui gate to them. Cultivating immortals is a race against time. If you don't win, you will only be reduced to dust. I don't know if I will follow in the footsteps of my master after more than 1,000 years. Lu Xinshui sighed quietly, a little sad. Sister, no, we can all go to Washan. Friend Li Dao, I drank some wine today, a little smoked, and talked a little too much, please don't mind me. Li Su stayed at Shuiyumen for 10 days and helped them strengthen the Guardian Array. With his current formation attainment, 10 days of strengthening has already improved a lot. If you want to fully strengthen, Li Su doesn't have much time yet, so let's do it first. After returning to Li Su's mansion, Li Su started taking concubines again. Headmaster, Ji Senior has accepted again. Zhang Elder, prepare 100 of the same congratulatory gifts. You take spirit stones and medicine pill and go to practice near Li's mansion. After these 10 congratulatory gifts are delivered, he should not take concubines so frequently. Inside the Loyan sect, the head said to Zhang Elder. This is a way he came up with. Gold Core Cultivator needs to focus on cultivation after all. Although the Gold Core Cultivator has a lifespan of at least 500 years, 1 year of waste is less than 1 year. Therefore, in addition to competing for opportunities or participating in some activities, Gold Core Cultivator usually seizes the time to practice. Okay, Master, Chung Elder accepted the proposal. In fact, not only the Loyanzong sect adopted such a plan. Li Su keeps taking concubines, it's unreasonable for these immortal sects not to send Gold Core elders there. But running back and forth is not unreasonable. Therefore, these fairy gates simply ask some Gold Core elders to bring multiple gifts and live in Los Angeles for a long time. Have you heard that Li Senior from Wangshenzhou has been taking concubines for more than a year, and the Gold Core elder from the 7 great immortal gates in the northern border is about to collapse in sending congratulatory gifts? What is this? Those Gold Core fairy gates are the most broken ones. There are so many Gold Core elders in the 7 great fairy gates, and they can be rotated. Many Gold Core fairy gates only have 1 or 2, and there is no rotation. Li Senior is too good at it, I don't know when I can finish it. In some fairy cities in the northern border, he became the object of discussion among many immortal cultivators in the fairy cities. Repairing immortal world usually takes a few years before something worth discussing on a large scale. But recently, many people are discussing Li Su. Many cultivators are wondering when Li Su's concubine footsteps will stop. They soon found out. Because, after more than a year, Li Su's footsteps of taking concubines have not stopped. Still taking concubines. Master, the 10 congratulatory gifts have been used up, and Li Senior is about to start taking concubines again. You can send another person there. I have to go to Li's mansion almost every month, and there is no way to carry out closed-door training for a long time. On this day, Zhang Elder returned to Loyanzong. In more than a year, his 10 congratulatory gifts have all been used up, and Ji Su is still taking concubines. This is too acceptable. Prepare another 30 congratulatory gifts. The head of Loyan sect was also ruthless, prepared 30 congratulatory gifts, and sent an elder there. It's been 3 years in a row, is he still paying? After some time passed, Elder, the head of the Danshin sect who was stationed in Los Angeles, was also stunned when he came back. Sister, I have to change Ding Zan back. If continues like this, she might marry into Ji's family. Inside the Shueui gate, Lu Xinyue said to Lu Xinshui. Lu Xinshui also has a big head. In the past 3 years, Yu has been sending congratulatory gifts constantly. Li Su is kind to Lu Xinyue, and even sent her 3rd-rank spiritual root's daughter. Lu Xinshui is naturally not reluctant to part with these gifts. She was just surprised by Li Su's constant taking of concubines. After the news of Wang Shenzhou came back, she naturally heard the rumor that Li Su liked Nai. But she has no specific impression. In her opinion, it's just a concubine, and how can she accept it? Now, she knows. This was nothing, but what gave her a headache was that the Gold Core elder she sent to Los Angeles was about to fall. Even if Li Su keeps taking concubines like this, as long as the female cultivator sees her, she will still find it difficult to resist Li Su's charm. As a woman, Xin Shui met Ji Su not once or twice. She is too aware of how attractive Li Su is to women. If she is not the head of the nascent soul late stage, but is still a gold core, seeing Li Su, it is very likely that she will also fall. Li Sr. is still on the job, and it's been 3 years. If you don't accept all the Foundation establishment female cultivators in the northern border, it seems that Li Sr. will not be able to stop. I'm so envious. My good daughter-in-law went to Nascent Soul. No, even if you go to Nascent Soul, I'm afraid you won't be able to take concubines like Li Sr. Among the various fairy cities, the realm cultivator is still keen to discuss the value of Kissuneth. Many cultivators want to know how long Li Su will take. It's done. In the north, the cultivator felt that Li Su had done nothing but take concubines for more than 3 years. Li Su has quietly refined the first treasure-level Dian sword. In the past 3 years, Li Su has continued to take concubines and has achieved great results. Descendants with spiritual roots were born continuously, and in nearly 3 years, he added more than 20 offspring with spiritual roots. Now there are 10 descendants of spiritual roots. The reward is 300 years of cultivation base and 300 years of experience. Li Su's current refining experience has successfully broken through 2,000 years. It also allowed Li Su to easily create a treasure-level Dian sword. Not only that. Another year later, Li Su's cultivation base finally ushered in a breakthrough, from the 4th floor of Nascent Soul to the 5th floor of Nascent Soul in one fell swoop. This time, there is no big head reward, but over time, the accumulated cultivation base is quite a lot. His spiritual roots, still failed to break through, is still 5th rank. The distance from 6th rank to 5th rank is a bit large. Therefore, after the cultivation base reached the 5th floor of Nascent Soul, the season continued to warm up. There are still many qualified Foundation establishment nuns in the north. Master, the congratulatory gifts are used up, and Li Sr. is going to take a concubine again. A few years later, in the Loyan sect, the Gold Core elder who was permanently stationed in Los Angeles returned. What, all 30 congratulatory gifts have been used up? The head of the Loyan sect who was studying the formation was shocked. In the past few years, because he has been in closed-door training, he has not paid much attention to the outside world. Yes, headmaster, it's used up. Prepare another 50 congratulatory gifts. The head of the Loyan sect was ruthless, but he didn't believe that Li Su could get another 50 loves. Meng, why does your father like taking concubines so much? A few years later, in Shuiyumen, Zinshui couldn't help complaining about Meng. Meng has grown into a slim girl, who looks somewhat similar to Yuyue Holy Maiden. Although she hasn't seen her father for almost 10 years, in Meng's mind, her father is still the most handsome, tallest, most powerful and invincible. Her 3rd rank spiritual roots is indeed terrifying. It has only been a few years of practice, and it is the late stage of chi refining. If this continues, Meng is likely to be able to Foundation establishment before the age of 20. Meng, your father is too powerful. A few years later, Lu Zinshui was a little dumbfounded. Over the years, she has sent out nearly 100 gifts. Although at the back, the interval between Li Su's taking concubines was separated, but Ji Su didn't stop taking more than 10 concubines. Not only that, a gold core female cultivator in Shuiyumen became Li Su's concubine because she was stationed in Los Angeles for some reason. This has given birth to 2 babies for Li Su. Lu Zinshui was also dumbfounded. Not only Lu Zinshui, but all the 7 great fairy gates in the northern border have been dumbfounded over the years. My friend Li Dao, what do you do with so many concubines? It's good to be young. In the Bixia sect, the cultivator closed-door training of Jin, the peak of Nascent Soul, was out of customs for more than 10 years, and he was also stunned when he got this news. Master, the congratulatory gifts are used up again. In Loyan sect, an elder is coming to report again. What, run out again? The head of Loyan sect was stunned for a long time. It will be 20 years after a few more. Senior Ji is taking concubines. It's very acceptable. If this continues, there may not be many female cultivators left in our northern border. In many fairy cities in the northern border, the topic of Li Su taking concubines has lasted for more than 10 years. Immediately afterwards, another news came out. There was a female head of the Gold Core Immortal sect, who might have stayed in Los Angeles for too long, and had to give gifts every 1 or 2 months, so she broke down and simply married Sue. I heard that there are a lot of gold core fairy gates, because it takes too much time to run back and forth because of the gift giving, and they all live in Los Angeles for a long time. I've also heard that some heads have lived for more than 10 years. Haha. Lee Sr.'s taking concubines has reached a new level. The fairy gates in the northern border are probably all collapsed. More than 10 years have passed, and the cultivators in the entire northern border are dumbfounded. No one thought of it. Lee Sue has been a concubine for more than 10 years. This simply refreshed the cognition of the cultivator in the north. Not only ordinary cultivators are stunned, the people from the 7 great immortal sects were equally stunned. Nascent soul late stage. On the other hand, Lee Sue showed a happy expression. The effect of continuous concubinage for more than 10 years is remarkable. There are descendants of spiritual roots, and the number continues to increase, with a breakthrough of 300. A wave of 3,000-year cultivation base rewards, combined with spiritual roots descendants from 200 to more than 300, accumulated more than a dozen 300-year cultivation base rewards, plus the added cultivation base for future generations and the cultivation base for roundup rewards for future generations. Finally, let Lee come to the nascent soul late stage. In the past 10 years, the descendants of Lee Su's spiritual roots have ushered in a wave of terrifying growth. Over 10 years, more than 100 have been added. And the spiritual roots are not too bad, and there are few bad ones. This is related to Lee Su's cultivation base upgrade, spiritual roots upgrade, and these female nuns themselves are all foundation establishment female nuns. Lee Su's spiritual roots is about to reach the 5th rank. The distance from 6th rank to 5th rank is still a bit far. The main reason is that in the past 10 years, although Lee Su's descendants of spiritual roots are generally good, there have not been any outstanding spiritual roots born. The strongest one is a baby of 4th rank spiritual roots. There are also a few 5th ranks, as well as some children of the 6th and 7th ranks. It is mainly based on the 8th and 9th grades. It's not bad to be able to enter the product. Now it is calculated according to the standards of the northern border. In the previous Wangshenzhou, the Bapin Foundation establishment was very difficult. But in the northern border, there is still great hope for foundation establishment in the 8th rank, but the resources need to be guaranteed, especially spirit stones and medicine pill. After foundation establishment, it will be more difficult to climb up. Lee Su's spiritual roots is about to break through 5th rank. More than 10 years have passed, but the number of Lee Su's descendants has not yet broken through 300,000. The increase in the number of offspring of spiritual roots has not only brought about an increase in the cultivation base. There are more than 6,000 years of experience. Allocating so much experience to one item can make the achievement of this item reach a very high level. Of course, these experiences are coming in a steady stream, and Jisoo has already allocated a lot of them. He has now reached 3,500 years in formation, refining, and pill refining cultivation base. After these 3 kinds of experience reached 3,000 years, they changed again. These 3 basic experience caps are 3,000 years old. That is to say, after 3,000 years of studying pill refining, refining equipment, and refining arrays, your foundation will be so solid that it cannot be firmer. Take formation as an example. Together with formation, Botan is profound. With 3,000 years of formation experience, no one can match it in the northern border. It is no exaggeration to say that he is a formation great master. But if the structure is enlarged, for example, from the perspective of immortals, the 3,000 years have just laid a solid foundation in terms of formation. Therefore, after reaching 3,000 years of experience, more advanced formation knowledge and formation principles will be added later. The experience has also begun to be halved, adding 1,000 years of experience to a 500-year formation cultivation base. In addition, Sue also has a 1,000-year talisman cultivation base. The reason for learning talisman seals is that the use of talisman seals is relatively simple, and Lee Sue plans to make some talisman seals for future generations to use for self-defense. Not only that, but he also practiced as a body cultivator for hundreds of years. His current physical strength is already very thick, comparable to the body cultivator of the Gold Core period. Pure physical strength is even stronger than Hua Shendu. Of course, immortal cultivators do not rely on their bodies to fight. Even if the gold core stage body cultivator breaks out into a small universe, only the immortal cultivators will benefit from being transformed into gods. Hundreds of years of body cultivator practice have made Li Su's body stronger. His height has increased by a little bit, and his whole person looks even tougher. His physique has always been very good, otherwise he would take so much. Now that the body cultivator has been added, Li Su's physique has further improved. In the future, if you have more experience, you can develop into fellow practitioners of Dharma. Li Su thought. Most immortal cultivators can be regarded as Dharma cultivators. Body cultivator is a small part. Body cultivators are not weak. Although they are easy to be kited, some body cultivators are also particularly difficult to deal with. If one can have the body of a body cultivator and the means of a cultivator, it will be more comprehensive. However, Li Su is not prepared for this at this stage. The body cultivator requires a lot of experience, and these experiences, at present, should be added to other cultivation bases, and it is better to strengthen own means. Let's come again after his family grows bigger and the descendants of spiritual roots continue to flow and rewards continue. In short, this wave of Li Su not only reached the nascent soul late stage in cultivation base, but also achieved a wave of growth in other aspects of the means. And as he has been taking concubines for more than 10 years, the nuns of the foundation establishment in the northern border are almost taken over by Li Su. It's not that there aren't enough foundation establishment nuns. Like Shuiyu men, there are hundreds of foundation establishment female nuns. This is the problem. Most of the foundation establishment nuns in the northern border are within the 7 great immortal gates. The requirements for appearance are astonishingly high. There are not many foundation establishment female nuns in the rogue cultivators outside. Li Su's concubine speed finally slowed down. However, the number of offspring he has spiritual roots will increase rapidly. Because Li Su can still cultivate intensively. The offspring of the current offspring, the offspring of the spiritual roots born, are also increasing continuously. Husband. On this day, Yu Yu, a holy maiden, finally came out. Yu Yu, how is it, has it been resolved? Li Su asked. Yu Yu nodded. Heavenly Devil has already been controlled by me. She used, is control. Li Su responded quickly. Really? Yu Yue took so long this time because she was performing a teasing operation. She didn't simply lift the Heavenly Devil seal, but controlled the Heavenly Devil seal. Don't know how she did it. I am one of the most suitable holy maidens in the history of Heavenly Devil Palace. If I completely break the seal of Heavenly Devil, I am afraid that Heavenly Devil Palace will attack in large numbers. So I controlled it. Yu Yu said. What Heavenly Devil are you talking about? Li Su asked. Before Yu Yue said Heavenly Devil, Li Su can roughly make it up. At most, the other party is equivalent to other existences of immortal, first level, but it is just a demon. True demons. The Heavenly Devil skill we practice is an authentic Devil Dao cultivation technique. All those who have cultivated the Heavenly Devil skill, as long as they are willing to be planted with the Heavenly Devil seal by the Heavenly Devil, can additionally obtain the Heavenly Devil's calendar area. Heavenly Devil has 18 lines printed. Every time one is deepened, the control of Heavenly Devil will be more powerful. Once it is deepened to 18 lines, it will become Heavenly Devil's slave, absolutely obedient to Heavenly Devil. Yu Yu told the secret of Heavenly Devil Palace. Where is the Heavenly Devil? Li Su asked. Yu Yu shook her head. I don't know. The first time we came into contact with Heavenly Devil and obtained the power of Heavenly Devil, it was all through the Heavenly Devil Monument. But the Heavenly Devil Palace has a steady stream of people. She spoke further. Following Yu Yu's narration, Li Su Ming understood what the Heavenly Devil Palace was like. The Heavenly Devil Palace was not established by any devil cultivator. Instead, all those who came into contact with the Heavenly Devil Monument, practiced the Heavenly Devil skill, and were planted with the Heavenly Devil seal will join the Heavenly Official. The Heavenly Devil Kung Fu is very magical, it can be cultivated very quickly, and its power is also amazing. The most crucial point is, as long as you are willing to be planted with the seal of Heavenly Devil, then you can immediately gain a force through the monument of Heavenly Devil, and your strength will increase greatly. If you don't want to plant the heavenly devil seal, you will not be able to cultivate after reaching a certain realm, and the subsequent cultivation technique will be gone. Back then, Yu relied on this power to break out of the encirclement. And if you encounter a bottleneck in your practice, you can also exchange power from the unknown heavenly devil through the heavenly devil mark at the cost of deepening the heavenly devil mark. No wonder, Yu has 2 gold core peaks under her command. Li Su thought. There are many gold core peaks in Heavenly Devil Palace. Because it's not difficult for these guys to reach the top of the gold core. The hard part is, the Thunder Tribulation when gold core breakthrough nascent soul. Thunder Tribulation is a huge hurdle for Devil Cultivator. Don't know how many Devil Cultivator, just hang here. My spiritual roots are dark spiritual roots, although it is 2nd rank, but when practicing Heavenly Devil, the speed is no lower than 1st rank spiritual roots, so I have only 1 Heavenly Devil seal until now. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so easy to break. Yu explained. The more Heavenly Devil is printed, the harder it is to break. Once Heavenly Devil prints 18 tracks, you can only be Heavenly Devil's slave for life. If Heavenly Devil wants you to die, you have to die. Of course, it's hard to get a Heavenly Devil with 18 seals. If the opponent can grow up, this Heavenly Devil who doesn't know where is probably really reluctant to die. This Heavenly Devil probably exists on a different level. Li Su thought. This guy is a genius. Through this method, the Devil Cultivators in the Heavenly Devil Palace can continue to flow. Even if 99% of the Devil Cultivators die in thunder disasters, there are always Devil Cultivators who can withstand thunder disasters. Moreover, the stronger the strength of these Devil Cultivators, the greater the possibility of encountering a bottleneck in the future. In order to break through the bottleneck, they have to exchange power with the Heavenly Devil. Their Heavenly Devil imprint will become deeper and deeper. After these Devil Cultivators grow up, they will find that they can no longer escape the control of Heavenly Devil. It's not easy for Yu to get rid of a Heavenly Devil mark. What about 2, 3, or even more? This is something that is planted in the soul, and it also involves Heavenly Devil, so it is not so easy to solve. Yu not only has a special physique, but is also extremely talented. In turn, it actually controlled the Heavenly Devil seal. Li Su felt that she might have locked Heavenly Devil in a small dark room, or created a fake personality to deceive Heavenly Devil. Yu, after you control the seal of Heavenly Devil, can you cheat power from Heavenly Devil? Li Su asked. Yu looked at Li Su with bright eyes, of course. The breath was released slowly. Li Su a perception, good guy. Yu is already on the 6th floor of Nascent Soul. Last time I saw her, she was still on the 4th floor of Nascent Soul. Yu has a bright face. I communicated with Heavenly Devil through the seal of Heavenly Devil, and deepened a seal of Heavenly Devil, and deceived a lot of power. In the past 10 years, I have actually been digesting these restrictions. Good guy. Li Su said, the last time I saw Yu, why did she suddenly go to the 4th floor of Nascent Soul? Yu, amazing. Li Su gave a thumbs up. Yu was able to think of this step, even daring to deceive Heavenly Devil's power, it's really amazing. However, this kind of operation can't be too frequent, otherwise Heavenly Devil will become suspicious. Yu added a sentence. Li Su let out an "oh." That's for sure. This time, Heavenly Devil was very generous, and the power he gave made Yu rise to several levels. The reason for being so generous is probably because Yu is really outstanding. Heavenly Devil wanted too much to control her further. In addition, Yu has always only had 1 Heavenly Devil seal, and now Yu is finally willing to deepen the 2nd one. This Heavenly Devil who doesn't know where and what form it is naturally generous. If someone dies, he can deepen the Heavenly Devil mark crazily in exchange for the power of Heavenly Devil, okay? Li Su asked. Yu shook her head. That Lei Jia will teach him to be a human being, that way is not stable. It would be even worse to die in the face of Lei Jia. Li Su Ming understood. In this way, there are many types of Devil Cultivator. Not all Devil Cultivators kill pill refining, and there are some Devil Cultivators who have been practicing seriously. But this kind of practice is still a trick. Palace of Heavenly Devil is clearly a genre. That underground Devil Cultivator should be another Devil Cultivator. Each devil cultivator grows differently. The palace of Heavenly Devil should be rather special, since it involves Heavenly Devil. You want to compete with me? After a while, Lisa's voice sounded. This time, Yue has made great progress in cultivation base, and it seems that she wants to avenge the revenge of being captured by Li Su back then. Li Su satisfied her. Stop fighting, you bullied me. Then, a quiet and angry voice sounded. Because of 12, Li Su showed the cultivation base of Nascent Soul late stage, and showed Yu again. Her operation this time can be described as very beautiful. Instead of customers, Riju has brought Heavenly Devil under control. And he also used the seal of Heavenly Devil to deceive Heavenly Devil's power. After spending more than 10 years completely absorbing these powers, the strength of the target is also improved. Such an amazing operation was also affirmed by Li Su, and Yu was in a great mood. So I prepared to show off in front of Li Su, unexpectedly. Not only did she fail to show off to Li Su, but she was once again shown to Li Su. Li Su's growth is actually faster than her. 0. This is a shortcut among the shortcuts she takes. How did Li Su do it? Yu was also extremely shocked. Although shocked, she was still unconvinced and wanted to challenge Li Su. The result is naturally predictable. Li Su's strength was not as good as hers at the beginning, so it's okay to not fall behind. Now, Yu is no longer Li Su's opponent. Seeing Yu's anger, Li Su laughed, flew over, and tied her up. Yu, give me another baby. Angrily Yu heard Li Su's words, her beautiful big eyes widened. Alive? Yu's small expression instantly became very cute. Seeing that helpless expression, Li couldn't help pinching her little face. Really. It didn't take long for Yu's cultivation base to increase this time, and her stomach grew bigger again. In the second year, Yue gave birth to a baby for Li Su, and this baby's spiritual roots is also good, still reaching the 4th rank. Before the 3rd rank spiritual roots, it is still a bit difficult, and it depends on luck. Li Su has a daughter from 3rd rank spiritual roots, and she is very, very lucky. Mo Foundation Establishment. On this day, Li Su received news from Meng and Lu Xinshui respectively. Meng Foundation Establishment. Is Meng Foundation Establishment so soon? A bright smile bloomed on Yu's face. She had a rough life when she was a child, so she naturally hoped that her daughter could have a stable cultivation environment. Let's go, Yue. Let's go to Shueui Gate. Li Su took Yu with him and set off. Meng Foundation Establishment. Minato also specially prepared a celebration for her. In a big immortal gate like Shueui Gate, there are hundreds of Foundation Establishment cultivators, and Foundation Establishment generally doesn't have much ostentatious celebration. But Meng's status is special. Lu Xinshui even invited some people from other fairy sects. This time, Li Su also brought a lot of gifts. These are all for Meng. In the Water Moon Gate, Meng threw herself into Li Su's arms. Next to Yue felt a little helpless. This girl was too clingy to Li Su. Her mother was clearly in front, but Meng ignored her. Moreover, Meng has become a big girl, and she still loves to act like a baby in front of Li Su so much. Mother, after being coquettish enough to Li Su, Meng threw herself into Yu's arms, and a smile finally bloomed on Yu's face. Thanks to the head of Xinshui all these years. At the banquet, Li Su said gratefully to Lu Xinshui. Lu Xinshui really put her heart into cultivating Meng, and really treated her as her own daughter. Friend Li Dao, you're welcome. Meng's spiritual roots are so good. If I don't cultivate them well, I'm sorry fellow Taoist for entrusting me. Lu Xinshui rode. The atmosphere of this banquet was also exceptionally harmonious. After the banquet, Li Su and Yu stayed with Meng at Shueui Gate for a few days, and also improved the formation of Shueui Gate by the way. Father, you gave too many things, my storage bag is full. Then use a few more storage bags. Li Su touched Meng's little head. After a few days, Li Su was ready to leave. Meng was a little bit reluctant. Friend Li Dao, I am planning to go to the North Sea in 1 year, and I need a reliable helper to help me stare at the sea surface. It will last up to 2 months. My sister can't leave. I want to invite you to go. Not sure if this is possible. When it was time to leave, Lu Xinyue sent out an invitation. The North Sea should be the sea where the Sea Clan once attacked. Li Su thought. Lu Xinyue seemed to be planning to go to Beihai to find something. Shuiyu men majored in water system cultivation technique, and some treasures or rare treasures in the ocean should have a great effect on Lu Xinyue. Li Su has already promised Lu Xinyue. Anyway, it's only 2 months, so nothing can be delayed. Just in time, I can go to see Beihai. In a special storage bag, the crystal coffin containing the shark girl is still there. More than 10 years have passed, and there has been no movement in the crystal coffin. Li Su used a storage bag alone to hold each other, and also placed some small restrictions on the outside of the storage bag. In this way, if there is any movement from the other party, Li Su can also notice it immediately. The flying boat flew all the way to Wangshenjiao. This flying boat was reforged by Li Su, and its speed is much faster. Not long after, Feizhou passed through Mangkang Mountain all the way and returned to Li's mansion. In the current Li mansion, the surrounding spiritual qi is already very strong. The spirit gathering formation laid out by Li Su is quite effective. After Mangkang Mountain was opened, the effect of this gathering spirit formation was very good. After his formation attainments improved, Li Su rearranged the spirit gathering formation to make it more effective. The current spiritual qi concentration in the entire Li family is still rising. The practice of Li Su's concubines is no longer a problem. Like the concubines of Li Su's foundation establishment, in addition to accompanying Li Su, it still spends a lot of time on cultivation. After giving birth to a few babies, they usually have more time. The medicine pill refined by Li Su can also help them practice better. Every time they finished their practice, when Li Su was at home, he would go to Wawa to accompany them. Husband, I'm going back to the palace of Heavenly Devil. After returning to the Li mansion, Yu Holy Maiden said. It is good. Li Su agreed, and did not ask 7,000 why she went back. He wasn't worried that Yu would never return. Due to the special nature of the Heavenly Devil Palace, even Yu doesn't know how many nascent souls there are in the Heavenly Devil Palace, and whether there are any gods. When Devil Cultivator Breakthrough Nascent Soul Breakthrough transforms into a god, the lightning tribulations he faces are very terrifying. For ordinary cultivators, the usual thunder calamity is said to be a calamity, which is more like a test. Basically, those who can break through the nascent soul period will not have any problem surviving the thunder tribulation. There will be no danger of life or death. Those who are not well prepared will at most suffer some injuries. But the devil cultivator is different. The lightning calamity is a real calamity, and the devil cultivator must be punished to death. In the palace of Heavenly Devil, there are actually quite a few peak gold cores born every 100 years. But these gold core peaks, in the thunder tribulation, not to mention 99% of the failures, 97 to 80% of the failures are certain. And if it is a form of God, the thunder disaster during the breakthrough is even more terrifying. Therefore, even if there are avatars in the Heavenly Devil Palace, the number is definitely not many. But secretly in the Palace of Heavenly Devil, maybe there are stronger ones. After a while, there will be a Heavenly Devil ceremony in the Heavenly Devil Palace. I'm going to cheat some more power. I'm going to sell the magic dust pill that my husband gave me, and I'm going to sell it for something. Yu took the initiative to talk about the plan. Okay. Be careful all the way. By the way, your magic needle and bell are here for you. Li Su handed Yu's magic needle and bell back to her. As soon as Yu took it, she felt something was wrong. On the pretty face, the sky is full of surprise. Husband. That's right, they are low-rank treasures now, and it's a waste to upgrade to middle rank now. If you use the low rank, the power will be greater. Li Su said. Yu was immediately moved. Li Su actually refined her 2 magic treasures into low-grade treasures. This is a treasure. A refiner who can refine treasures is too rare. It is even more difficult for Devil Cultivator to find such a refiner. As far as Yue knows, there is the Devil Cultivator, who is still using magic treasures at the top-grade spiritual weapon level. Therefore, Yu was extremely moved. But soon, she was helpless, and Li Su made her lean on the windowsill again. Husband, goodbye, be careful all the way. The next day, Yu Yu reluctantly bid farewell to Li Su and fled to the palace of Heavenly Devil. Li Su's concubine rhythm finally slowed down. Intensive cultivation of the original land has begun. Phew. Li Sr. finally stopped taking concubines. In Los Angeles, a large number of gold core cultivators breathed a sigh of relief. The gold core elder among the 7 great immortal gates is okay, and it can be rotated after all. Some gold core fairy gates have only 1 gold core. In order to avoid running back and forth, they have lived in Los Angeles for more than 10 years. Now, seeing that Li Su finally stopped taking concubines frequently, these gold cores finally breathed a sigh of relief. One after another, many Dankis went to the northern border. At present, the spiritual qi in the northern border is still more concentrated. Wangshenjiao is too large, and it will take decades for the concentration of spiritual qi to catch up with the northern border. After all, Li Su just made an opening, and didn't completely open the magnetic barrier. A year passed by in a hurry. This year, although Li Su didn't take many concubines, Li Su's descendants of spiritual roots still increased by nearly 10. Li Su's ordinary descendants also reached 290,000, not far from 300,000. Friend Li Dao. Xinyue fellow Taoist. On this day, Li Su met Lu Xinyue on a mountain so high as clouds. Lu Xinyue was alone. Seeing Li Su arrive as scheduled, a smile bloomed on her face. When laughing, you can see the difference between her and Lu Xinshui the most. Lu Xinshui smiled without showing her teeth, graceful and moving, with a kind of reserved beauty. When Lu Xinyue smiled, she showed her white teeth, which made her look refreshing. Friends Li Dao, let's get on my flying boat. Okay. So, Li Su put away the flying boat and got on Lu Xin's flying boat. The flying boat headed north. At present, there are no authentic sea people in the North Sea. There are quite a few sea beasts, and there are also many cultivators whose spiritual roots are not good enough to hunt and kill sea beasts in the North Sea in order to cultivate resources. Along the way, Xinyue talked about the situation in Beihai. The North Sea is huge, and the coastline that borders the North Sea is boundless, thousands of miles long. On the North Sea, there is also a fairy city called Linhai City. Most of the immortal cultivators in Linhai City went there to hunt sea beasts. The sea beasts in the sea are indeed difficult to deal with, like Wangshenjiao, few cultivators go into the sea. But the sea area near Linhai City is relatively mild and not particularly deep. There are also large formations on some islands. If the cultivator can't beat them, they can hide in them. The hunted sea beasts can also be sold in Linxian City in exchange for spirit stones and medicine pill. There, a complete industrial chain has already been formed. In addition, Linhai City also has a nascent soul. This nascent soul does not belong to any fairy sect, and it is also the only nascent soul rogue cultivators in the Northern Territory. This Linhai City was built by this nascent soul, and it has a history of nearly 2,000 years. It is also a long history. This nascent soul seldom leaves the North Sea, and is rather mysterious. He never participates in the affairs of the North, and no one knows the strength of the other side. But once a fourth-order middle-stage sea beast attacked and was beheaded by it, its strength is probably already at the nascent soul late stage. Because of the distance, the other party still abides by the rules, and no one cares about the fairy gate in the north. Lu Xinyue didn't talk much. Going all the way like this, after more than 10 days, Beihai is already in sight. The turbulent waves set off by the North Sea are tens of meters high, and wave after wave hit the cliffs by the sea. Just in front of the seaside cliff, there is a city. Friend Li Dao, that is Linhai City, Lu Xinyue said. From time to time, some flying boats or streamers can be seen rushing out of Linhai City, heading for the North Sea. Lu Xinyue's flying boat didn't intend to stop, it passed by the right side of Linhai City and rushed towards the North Sea. After going deep into the North Sea for a day, sea beasts rushed out to attack the flying boat from time to time. Naturally, these sea scorpions would die horribly. The flying boat continued to move forward, and after flying toward the depths of the North Sea for more than half a month, it finally stopped over a wide sea. The seawater in this area is unusually deep, and there is no island in sight around it. Whether it is the field of vision or the range covered by divine sense, there is no training. It has been flying for more than half a month. With the speed of this spaceship, it can fly many times around the Earth and stars before Li Su crossed in more than half a month. Lu Xinyue took out a piece of magic treasures and poured a lot of spells into the sea. Light clusters of various colors entered the seawater and quickly disappeared in the seawater. Li Su didn't ask what she was doing. Soon, Li Su knew. Below, there are some pillars exuding shimmering light. That's it, friend Li Dao, let's wait, Lu Xinyue said. It is good. Li Su was not in a hurry. Lu Xinyue began to make some preparations. I saw that she took out a lot of magic treasures and hit them around. These magic treasures floated in midair, fixed there, motionless. The sky is also full of magic treasures. Li Su saw that these laws have special purposes, and they form a peculiar formation here. There are many types of formations, such as sword formations and magic formations composed of a large number of cultivators, which can also be regarded as a kind of formations, which are also very mysterious. Some powerful magic circles can even gather the power of a bunch of foundation establishment cultivators to compete with gold core. Even if you can't beat it, you can protect yourself. It took almost 3 days for Lu Xinyue to make all the preparations. Li Su waited patiently. After a few more days, finally, there was movement in the sea below. As if a big hole had opened in the seabed, a huge vortex formed rapidly. The appearance of this vortex made the surrounding wind become violent. Friend Li Dao, there is a naturally formed treasure below here, which is extremely precious, but this vortex is too dangerous. After entering the depths, the true essence of the whole body will be suppressed. Even if I go down, I may be sucked in. Lu Xinyue looked at the huge vortex that was forming, and said, "This vortex looks really scary. In a short period of time, it has a diameter of more than 10 miles. A black hole formed in the middle feels like a huge mouth that doesn't know where it leads. The movement here is likely to attract many sea beasts, and fellow Taoist must guard this formation." Lu Xinyue arched her cupped hands to Li Su, and said solemnly, "Xinyue, fellow Taoist, please rest assured. Li Su Sahida Aa." Lu Xinyue let out a hum, and flew out. Around, the magic treasures all over the sky began to glow, and soon formed golden lines, which were heavy on her waist. "Friend Li Dao, I'm going." After Lu Xinyue finished speaking, she flew towards the black hole in the center of the vortex. Those golden threads became longer and longer as she flew. These wires seemed to be used to pull her up. Judging from the scale of this vortex, the seawater here is probably many times deeper than the Mariana Trench. Moreover, the seawater here does not seem to be ordinary seawater, or there is some strange energy in it. After the vortex is formed, the cultivator goes deep into it, and the true essence will be suppressed unexpectedly. Otherwise, Lu Xinyue is a nascent soul cultivator, and she is still practicing water system cultivation technique. No matter how deep the sea is, as long as there are no too powerful sea beasts, she has nothing to worry about. After the true essence is suppressed, the cultivator will feel uncomfortable. I don't know if it's a natural phenomenon or is affected by other factors. Li Su looked at the vortex and thought, some natural dangerous places are also very dangerous. Looking at it this way, it is still necessary to add the body cultivator cultivation base after transforming into a god. In case the true essence is suppressed, you can still fight with any body. Lu Xinyue had already disappeared into the vortex. Li Su's divine sense followed in, and found that there was indeed a strange energy inside, which made it impossible for his divine sense to penetrate too much. I looked around. Li Su thought for a while, and threw out a large number of formation flags. Although it is above the ocean, it is still possible to deploy formations. With Li Su's current formation attainments, he can form formations even in the empty sky. As time passed, Lu Xinyue hadn't come back yet. The golden thread extends all the way to the center of the vortex. In the nearby seawater, Li Su has already found sea beasts attracted by the movement here. However, Li Su has already used concealment formation to conceal this area, and no sea beast found him. Although his strength, these sea beasts come and kill as many as they come, but he doesn't plan to cause extra problems. However, the existence of the golden thread finally attracted the sea beast's attention. A sea beast suddenly jumped, rushed into the sky, and attacked the golden thread. However, before rushing to it, the sea beast was beheaded by a stream of light. Li Su didn't even blink his eyes, still staring at the center of the vortex. Time keeps ticking. Soon, half a day passed, and the heart has not come back. More sea beasts were attracted by the golden thread and rushed towards the golden thread. But all of these sea beasts turned into corpses, even if there were third-order sea beasts inside. Li Su thought for a while, and raised a few formation flags again. This time, the sea beast finally became quiet. Fourth-order sea beast. Li Su noticed a fourth-order sea beast. He took the initiative to attack, and all the flying fairy swords came out. Although the fourth-order sea beast was strong, it was beheaded by Li Su abruptly. Once the fourth-order sea beast dies, there should be no more fourth-order sea beasts in a short period of time, and the other sea beasts are also frightened and stay away. Has it not come out yet? But Lu Xinyue hasn't come out yet, it's been almost a day. At this time, misfortune happened. The gold wires shook suddenly, and then, all broke. Broken? Li Su frowned. Lu Xinyue, it looks like she has encountered some kind of danger. Li Su pondered 5.2 for a moment, flew into the air, and kept hitting the French with both hands. Then he saw that those magic treasures of Lu Xinyue also emitted golden light, forming a golden thread and wrapping around his waist. With a movement of Li Su's hand, the Dian sword formation was activated by him, and it was in an automatic attack mode, which was to protect this area. Li Su is going to go down to have a look. For Li Su, this is not too risky. His strength is much stronger than Lu Xinyue, not to mention, this vortex is only suppressing the real essence. Don't forget, Li Su's current body cultivator cultivation base is also equivalent to the gold core period. Even if he didn't have the golden thread, he still had the confidence to force his way out. Soon, he plunged into the black hole in the center of the vortex, surrounded by rapidly rotating water flow. These water flows in the rotation, so that the center of the vortex formed a special natural field, which can suppress the true essence. Moreover, there is a suction coming from below. It is this suction that causes the existence of the vortex. Li Su went down quickly. His speed was getting faster and faster, and in less than half an hour, Ji Li rushed to the bottom of the sea. There, Li Su saw a building overgrown with water plants, and Lu Xinyue passed out on an underwater square. Wei's suppression of Gen is indeed too powerful. Li Su can't use much Gen Yuan now. Heart Moon. He flew to Lu Xinyue's side and fed her a medicine pill. Looking at it, Lu Xinyue was holding a white bead tightly in her hand. Is this the treasure she was looking for? Li Su picked her up and was about to take her away. The suppression here was too strong, and there was also a terrible suction force, which wanted to suck him into the deeper black hole next to him. Just after picking her up, in Li Su's special storage bag for holding the crystal coffin, the eyes of the shark girl wearing the crown suddenly opened. She's not dead. The shark girl just opened her eyes when Li Su noticed it. With the opening of shark girl's eyes, the space of that storage bag is already beginning to collapse. This kind of storage bag can't hold living things, and living things can't be put in at all. If a cultivator with a high cultivation base forces a living creature into it, the space inside will collapse. In the current situation, when she was put in, the country girl was still in a state similar to death. As a result, the shark girl suddenly opened her eyes and came back to life. The space of this storage bag can't hold up anymore. Without saying a word, Li Su released the crystal coffin. Because if you don't put it away, the space of the storage bag will not hold up, and the crystal coffin will still come out. Might as well keep a storage bag. The crystal coffin fell to the side. Li Su saw that the bright girl's eyes had been opened. Her eyes are blue, the color of the sea. Unlike the blue eyes of Westerners before Li Su traveled, her eyes are more beautiful. At this time, her eyes were still quite dull. Just open it. But amazing changes have taken place. Among the swirling seawater around here, streams of soft energy are rapidly going into the crystal coffin and entering her body. No wonder, the four mermen wanted to exchange the merman beads so that the people who entered restrictions would send her back to the sea. Seeing this scene, Su Ming understood. This shark girl seems to have used some secret method to put herself in a state similar to suspended animation or freezing. An ordinary person, by chance, is sealed in ice, and may be frozen for many years. The strength of this shark girl at that time was 100% that of turning into a god. She had successfully survived the long years and lived to the present day by feigning death or freezing herself. But this method must not be used casually. There are many prerequisites, and corresponding secret methods or tools are required. Otherwise, why didn't the 4 nascent soul stage mermaids use such a method? Why don't the cultivators of the immortal sect use such a method? And the way for her to wake up is probably to enter the seawater and absorb the energy in the seawater. She has been sealed in the crystal coffin for so long, and I am afraid that there will not be much real history left. Of course, a skinny camel is bigger than a horse. No matter how poor she is now, she should still have the strength of nascent soul. At this time, the strange energy in the seawater was being rapidly absorbed by her. This place is simply her blessed land. Li Su realized this. This place, which is extremely dangerous for cultivators, is simply the blessed land of this shark girl. No wonder, so many sea beasts were attracted by the vortex. If this mermaid is in other places, it will take hundreds of years to recover the cultivation base. If she is here, it probably won't take long for her to restore the cultivation base. Can't have her here. She used to be a deity, or a sea tribe who attacked the northern border. Once she regains her strength now, Li Su is passive. Without further ado, Li Su took out a piece of magic treasures and prepared to trap the crystal coffin. But at this time, the accident happened again. Inside the crystal coffin, Shark Girl's hands suddenly formed seals. In the next second, the suction force from the nearby black hole clearly increased. This time, the gold threads on Li Su's body couldn't hold on anymore and broke directly. The black hole swept over all of a sudden, engulfing the 3 of them. When it reappeared, the scene in front of it had changed. Here, it seems to be the seabed, but there is a soft light in the center. You can also see a large number of beautifully shaped buildings around, some of which look like the underwater city in Sea King that Li Su had seen before traveling. But didn't see any people, and the building is actually a bit run down. This gives Li Su a sense of spiritual qi. No, not spiritual qi. This is a special energy that exists in the entire ocean formed after spiritual qi is dissolved in seawater. It is this kind of energy that can support so many powerful sea beasts. Now, this kind of energy is still entering here continuously. Li Su suddenly understood how the vortex came about. It is possible that it has something to do with this. That vortex gathers the energy in the seawater, and then continuously inputs it here. That's why this place is like a paradise in the fairy gate. After entering the crystal coffin, it felt like a fish in water, and the energy in the water was coming towards her at high speed. Seeing this, Li Su made a quick move, shooting a large number of formation flags and magic treasures. There are also restrictions. The crystal coffin was immediately sealed by Li Su, and the surrounding energy could no longer enter. Li Su even separated the water. Now, the country girl in the crystal coffin has nothing to do. At this time, the shark girl in the crystal coffin looked dazed again. It seems that he hasn't woken up yet. Don't pretend, I saw your hand movements. Li Su spoke. Inside the crystal coffin, the shark girl's gaze finally changed. Inside, the changes slowly came to life. This made Li Su sure that she definitely doesn't have much strength left now, and she is not Li Su's opponent at all. Otherwise, she just broke out of the coffin, so she still has to pretend. Shark Girl looked at Li Su. After looking at it for a while, the crystal coffin slowly opened. Li Su saw that there was a special liquid in the crystal coffin, which was more transparent than water, and soaked the Shark Girl in it. Shark Girl sat up. $%#**. Then, she spoke. The voice sounded hoarse at first, but it quickly returned to normal. The voice sounds nice, soft, but Li Su couldn't understand. What she spoke was not only the language of the Sea Clan, but also an ancient language. There is a language barrier, but there is no problem, and you can communicate with divine sense. This is a direct communication, able to directly understand the meaning of the other party. Moreover, it can also let Li Su find out the details of this shark girl. Li Su's divine sense probed over. Shark Girl understood Li Su's intention, and divine sense also probed out. Thank you for bringing me to the clan, but why are you preventing me from recovering? Now, Li Suming understood what the white shark girl meant. Tribal land? This is her family land? What a coincidence. Thinking about it, it seems possible. According to Li Su's understanding from the 7 Great Immortal Gates, a long time ago, the Sea Tribe in the North Sea was strong, and there were Sea Tribe activities on the North Sea. This place is far away from the northern border, maybe it really is her family land. You launched an attack on the northern border, I don't worry about letting you recover. Li Su spoke directly. This war is not our fault. We just wanted to get back the sacred artifacts stolen by humans, and humans refused to give them back, so we started the war. This is my clan land. If you prevent me from recovering, my clan will probably not be friendly to you. Messages came from Shark Girl's divine sense one after another. Clan people? Don't you know the own situation? Li Su said. Shark Girl didn't understand what Li Su meant, but when she looked around, her expression changed on her pretty face. Here, it is empty. Where are the people from the tribe? What she realized. Now, how long has it been? Li Su said. I don't know, at least 10,000 years, maybe 20,000 to 30,000 years or longer. Shark Girl's complexion completely changed, at least 10,000 years. The possibility of 10,000 years is actually very low, and it is more likely to be 20,000 to 30,000 years or more. Even 10,000 years is a terrifyingly long time for an ordinary cultivator. The lifespan of a cultivator is far from 10,000 years. Is it so long? Shark Girl muttered to herself. She looked, still a little disbelieving. Until Li Su popped a drop of water with his fingers and hit a building. The building shattered like tofu dregs. Shark Girl believed it now. She looked around, with deep sadness in her eyes. She didn't expect that she would wake up again tens of thousands of years after she used a secret technique to freeze her. Tens of thousands of years. All her clan members and relatives are gone. Even this family land has been abandoned, and the formation arranged here is still working, and as time goes by, it merges with this place and becomes a natural water array just like Mangkang Mountain. Every few years, a special vortex will appear here to absorb the energy in the seawater. Of course, if you are sucked in by the vortex, you can't enter here. Only when the Shark Girl opens the entrance can you enter here. Seeing her look like this, Li Su didn't communicate with her anymore, but went to check on Lu Xinyue's situation. Lu Xinyue was still in a coma, it must have been an accident when she took the bead. Fine. After Li Su checked it, he was relieved. After Lu Xinyue's true essence was suppressed, she forcibly removed the bead, her whole body was shaken, and under the shock of her soul, she fell into a coma. It will probably take a while to wake up, as long as there is no injury. Li Su was not in a hurry. He threw down the formation flag, set up a small formation, and protected Xingu inside. Then, Li Su looked at Shark Girl again. Shark Girl is still looking around. After more than 10 minutes, she looked at Li Su, and there was a message from Divine Sense. Can you restore my strength? I will repay you when I regain my strength. There was sincerity in her eyes. Li Su didn't agree immediately. If he is now at the peak of nascent soul, Li Su is willing to take a gamble. Because once Li Su reaches the peak of nascent soul, with the strength of his nascent soul, it should be more than enough to protect himself against the early stage of Washin. Even if this mermaid is not the early stage of Washin, but stronger, Li Su can withdraw if she senses something is wrong. How to get out here? Li Su asked. I can open the exit for you, but now the clan device is absorbing energy for this place, and the duration is 10 days, and it will take a few more days. Shark Girl said. It is good. Li Su sat down. Really waited up. He was not in a hurry to wake Lu Xinyue up. The existence of this Shark Girl was kept a secret for the time being. After all, Li Su got her from the ruins of the Fairy Gate. Li Su didn't tell anyone at the time either. Seeing that Li Su stopped talking, Zhao Nu had no choice but to sit in the crystal coffin and waited silently. Her eyes were still looking around, and there was sadness in her eyes from time to time. 5 days later, the whirlpool hadn't disappeared yet, but Li Su ushered in another wave of big rewards. His descendants finally reached 300,000. another 3,000-year cultivation base, plus 0.1% chance of having better spiritual roots in offspring. This probability is much smaller than the probability of pure spiritual roots offspring. Although small, it will be very useful as long as the base is large enough and the time is long enough to increase the probability. Li Su is not worried about Shouyuan now, and will not be entangled with this. Li Su is not in a hurry to get the 3,000 years. Cultivation base. Because his spiritual roots should be breaking through soon, he is going to wait until spiritual roots rises to 5th rank before receiving the 3,000-year cultivation base. Otherwise, with the 6th rank spiritual roots in the 3,000-year cultivation base, at the nascent soul late stage, it would be difficult to advance to a higher level. 5th rank spiritual roots should be enough. After a few more days, finally, the vortex should disappear. Okay. You open the formation first, and open the channel for you. Shark Girl sent a message through divine sense. Li Su opened up the formation. Shark Girl formed seals with both hands, and played the spell, and soon, a passage was opened. Li Su's divine sense pokes out, and you can actually get out from here. At this time, Shark Girl's hands formed seals and opened a place again. Li Su saw that it should be similar to the elixir garden of Xianmen, with many strange underwater plants growing in it. You are kind to me. Whether you want me to restore the cultivation base or not, you can choose half of the things in it. Shark Girl said. Half? Li Su's divine sense probed in, and found that the things inside were the same as the Xianmen ruins, and the growth years were very long. He didn't know the spiritual plants in the sea, and he didn't know whether these things were high level or not. But think about it, the return is not high. Because this clan has obviously been abandoned by the remaining sharks, the good things must have been withdrawn. The reason for giving up is also very simple. Needless to say, the Sea Clan must have been repulsed back then, with heavy casualties. Although it is far away from the northern border, but above nascent Seoul, the distance is less than 20 days after all. Therefore, it is no longer safe for the remaining mermen to live here again. Before the shark gave up, he preserved it perfectly, probably because he was reluctant to destroy it. There are also certain factors, wanting to save this place, and wait for this shark girl to come back. There are still some sunflower drops inside. When this large array gathers energy, after a long time, it is easy to form sunflower drops outside, but there are more sunflower drops inside, you can also take half. At this time, the country girl opened another place. Li Su saw that there were not many beads like the one in Lu Xinyue's hand inside. It seems that they were all formed after tens of thousands of years of blocking here. What is your identity? Li Su via divine sense asks. Not only can this shark girl easily open this place, she can even open places like the pharmaceutical garden easily. She can also open the place where the sunflower water drops exist. He used to be a deity, and his status among the mermaids is definitely not low. I am the merman princess of the North Sea, you can call me Bai Ling. Shark Girl said. Li Su was not in a hurry to pick the contents inside. He was considering whether to let the shark girl restore the cultivation base. Shark Girl opened the passage, so he can leave here after picking half of the things. Let Sharkna restore the cultivation base. Even if the things inside are not high level, but they have grown for such a long time, and the value is very good. In addition, so many sunflower drops are also a fortune. Lu Xinyue from the 4th floor of Nascent Soul is willing to take such a big risk just for a sunflower water droplet. Li Su can get dozens of pieces at one time. There are also some very big ones inside, much larger than the one in Lu Xinyue's hand. This sunflower water bead is probably a treasure for those who practice water system cultivation technique. Mengmeng is also useful. Of course, if Mengmeng uses it now, it will be a waste, at least wait for her gold core, or even nascent soul. The only question is, will she attack the north again after restoring the cultivation base? Li Su thought about it, it was unlikely, since tens of thousands of years had passed. Moreover, her words gave Li Su the feeling that they were highly credible. But there is an element of adventure in the end. Not decided yet. At this time, suddenly, this space trembled. Li Su's divine sense swept away, and a large number of sea beasts appeared outside. Shark Girl's reaction was quick, and she quickly closed the seal, closing the passage. When she moved her hand again, something outside appeared in the air. Outside, densely packed sea beasts appeared. Not only sea beasts, some people also appeared. No, these aren't people, they're just human from the top and snakes from the bottom. Snake people. Li Su whispered. The snake race among the Sea Clan is also one of the Sea Clans who once talked about the environment. Finally found the ancient mermaid clan, destroy all the surrounding area, and then I will use the earth spirit beads to blast it away. A strong snake man made a sound. Good Ji-Su could understand this voice. In other words, the current High Clan speaks the same language as the Northern Territory. Following his voice, those sea beasts began to destroy the seabed outside. Outside the mermaid race, sea beasts have already begun to destroy them. Although the methods adopted by these snake people are simple and crude, they are somewhat useful when dealing with this kind of natural wind and water formation. That is to completely destroy the neighborhood. Like the cultivator in the north, if you really want to solve the magnetic barrier, there is a way. That is to dig up Mangkang Mountain. The lowest part of Mangkang Mountain is 10,000 feet high. The amount of this project is not ordinary, but if the whole northern region is dispatched, it will take a lot of time, but it can still be done. The natural wind and water array formed on the Mangkang Mountain naturally broke. But the cultivator in the northern border would not do that even if he was full. Even for an immortal cultivator, it is not easy to dig a mountain that stretches for tens of thousands of miles and reaches a height of 10,000 feet. And once it is dug out, the magnetic field will be raging, and the northern border will be affected. Shendu didn't want to touch the metamagnetic barrier. Even if he was digging a mountain, if he was not careful, it would cause a lot of casualties. It's much easier to deal with here. Once a large number of sea beasts destroy the vicinity, and then use the earth spirit beads, it is indeed possible to blast them away. According to 5 elements, Tien is against water. This natural wind-water array mainly uses the power of sunflower water. Shark Girl frowned slightly. Although she is a god of transformation, but now she does not have the strength of a god of transformation. The snake man outside was aggressive, and among the sea beasts they brought, there were 4th-order sea beasts as well. They themselves are definitely not weak. There should be no transformation god. Li Su made a conclusion. Among these guys, there shouldn't be a god of transformation. If there is a god of transformation, it won't be this kind of momentum. If you showed up now, would they leave? Li Su asked. Shark Girl. I don't know, I feel that they might not leave so easily. They have a lot of strong people. If they come in, I can't deal with them now. Please let me restore the cultivation base. At most 1 month, I can deal with them. Mermaid still wants to 993 to ask Li Su to help her restore the cultivation base. Li Su pondered for a while, and said, open the big formation, I will go out and deal with them. The strongest of them may reach the peak of nascent soul. Shark Girl said. Don't worry, if I can't stop it, you can close this place again. While talking, Li Su removed the formation around her. Shark Girl was startled, she didn't expect Li Su to withdraw so quickly. Seeing that Li Su was confident, Shark finally opened the exit of the formation. Be careful, she said. As soon as the formation was opened, Su Fu went out. Huh. Human? Outside, the leader of the snake people saw Li Su, and their eyes sank. Because Li Su came out of it, it probably means that Li Su has already taken the lead here. I've already taken it here, so you don't have to waste your efforts. Li Su said lightly. The leader of the snake man's eyes flickered, he was estimating Ji-Su's strength. The current Sea Clan is not as powerful as before. When facing humans, they are not as strong as before. This is the territory of our Sea Clan. In the end, he spoke up, unwilling to give in. Is it? Li Su snorted softly, spreading his breath. Countless streamers pierced the seawater and rushed towards the leader Snake Man. Seeing Li Su make a move, the Snake Man let out a loud shout, and immediately shot out the magic treasures in his hand. Boom. The surrounding sea shook violently, and the Snake Man's expression changed. He hastily took out a shield and stepped forward. A violent tremor came, and the Snake Man retreated crazily. PFF'd, when he stood still, he spat out a mouthful of blood. He was shocked. He is already on the 9th floor of nascent soul, and his body is strong. When Li Su just made a move, his aura was obviously weaker than him, but he vomited blood with one blow. How can this human being be so terrifying? This guy felt a little unwilling, but he understood that Li Su was so powerful and powerful. If the fight continues, the only one who will suffer is him. What's more, this area is not too far from the northern border. What if this human has a helper? No one can say for sure about this kind of thing. Let's go. Although this guy was unwilling, he could only withdraw in the end. Although the team he led was huge, with a large number of sea beasts and several snake men. However, as long as he can't beat Li Su, no matter how many of these people there are, they are just food deliverers. Seeing these snake men leave, Li Su didn't make any more moves. Instead, he returned to the big formation. Thanks. Inside, the shark girl Bai Ling has already seen Li Su's attack. No, they may come back, you should recover as soon as possible, I'm leaving, see you soon. Li Su said. Now that the other party has been released to restore the cultivation base, Li Su no longer has a mother-in-law. Just take the benefits and leave. There are a lot of benefits this time, and Li Su deserves to bring her out. The time for this trip was not short, Su had to go back and continue to develop. It is the right way to rush to Washan as soon as possible. No matter how strong his top-level nascent soul is, he can be undefeated by the early stage of the god transformation. That's not as comfortable as being directly crushed after achieving god transformation. To defeat the strong with the weak is not as good as to abuse the strong with the stronger. Sunflower water beads and spirit objects, don't forget. Shark Girl reminded. She didn't mean to break her promise. Naturally, Li Su will not forget. Soon, he picked half of the drops. Then, he entered the place with a large number of spiritual plants, and picked all the fruits of the spiritual plants inside. These spiritual plants are somewhat interesting. Many spiritual plants are not like panacea, they are gone when pulled out. There are some consequences. There are also some that have to be uprooted. As a result of the spiritual plant, Li Su only picked the fruit and did not damage the trunk. Li Su didn't know Lingzi in Haley, so he sent half of everything. At this point, everything is done. After finishing it, Li Su withdrew the formation protecting Lu Xinyue. This girl is still in a coma. Li Su picked up the petite and lovely Lu Xinyue and was about to leave. What's your name? Li Su. This conch is for you. If you want to find me, blow the conch. If there is a sound in the conch, then I am looking for you. You help me. If necessary, I can help you. Seeing that Li Su was about to leave, Shark Girl asked Li Su's name and handed Li Su a white conch. Li Su put it away. Goodbye. Then, he carried Lu Xinyue and flew out. After Li Su's figure disappeared, Yu Nu's gaze remained there, and after a while, she blocked the yin formation. In just 10 days, Li Su has left a deep impression on her. She wants to hurry up and restore the cultivation base, and then go to see what the current situation is in the ocean. Her strength can transform into a god early stage. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to beat that immortal sect's cultivator until she could only stick to the restrictions for 1,000 years, and was trapped there to death in the end. The flying boat rushed to the north. The vast sea receded rapidly. On the flying boat, Lu Xinyue opened her eyes. The sun was a bit harsh to her. You're awake? Li Su's gentle voice sounded. Lu Xinyue sat up and looked around. Where are we going now? Go back to the north. Li Su said. What? She seemed to realize it. I seem to be unconscious on the bottom of the sea. Why am I on the flying boat again? Having said that, Lu Xinyue looked at Li Su. You saved me. Li Su let out a huh. Then, he handed Lu Xinyue the sunflower water drop that she got. This is what you were holding in your hand at that time. When Lu Xinyue saw the sunflower water drops, she happily took them. Immediately, she looked at Li Su, her gaze changed. She didn't expect that. Li Su actually took the risk to save her. The reason why she went down by herself was because it was really dangerous down there. The vortex formed by the natural wind-water array in the Merman clan, the ordinary nascent soul can easily fail to come up. At that time, the firepower of the natural wind and water bursts was fully opened. It's different from those snake people behind who want to destroy the wind-water formation, and Lu Xinyue is not a sea tribe, and she doesn't like a fish in water like a sea tribe in the sea. However, the sunflower water drops will only appear when the vortex appears. So she can only go down at that time. But she has already made sufficient preparations, and the water system cultivation technique she cultivated, the suppression below is not as good as other cultivators. That's why she went down by herself, but she had to be watched by someone above. She chose Li Su on the top, which means she trusts Li Su very much. To a certain extent, it is equivalent to handing over her wealth and life to Ji. What she never imagined was that despite being so well prepared, there was still an accident. I thought that I would confess there, or that I would be seriously injured no matter what. But he never thought that Li Su would take the risk to save her. This makes Lu Xinyue not moved. Don't look at her living for more than 1,000 years, but in fact, in the past 1,000 years, most of her time was spent on cultivation. Since she is a little sister, she never has to worry about so many things. Lu Xinyue still has a girlish heart. Thank you, Li Su. Her heart seemed to be overwhelmed. I didn't call fellow Taoist anymore. To a certain extent, she called Li Su's name, which represented more recognition. Shouting, fellow Taoist, has a sense of distance after all. Not only moved, Lu Xinyue actually has admiration for Li Su. After seeing Li Su many times, this love has germinated, but it is not particularly obvious. Until now. Moved, Lu Xinyue's love for Li Su was beyond her strict expression. Then it's so dangerous down there, it must be difficult for you to go down? Lu Xinyue cared about Li Su again. In her impression, Li Su and she are both on the 4th floor of nascent soul, and she has cultivated the cultivation technique of the water system, so going down is a bit risky. Wouldn't it be more dangerous if Li Su left? Fortunately, in the past 10 years, after I digested the gains from the Xianmen ruins, I have already reached the nascent soul late stage. During Li Su's speech, he revealed his cultivation base a little bit. Following his exposure, the expression on Lu Xinyue's face slowly froze. How did you grow up so fast? Lu Xinyue took a deep breath. Besides, you still take so many concubines, Li Su. You have been taking concubines for more than 10 years. Maybe Lu Xinyue couldn't hold back because she was too shocked. Normally, she would not be able to talk about these things, nor would she be able to ask why Li Su grew up so fast. It is not polite to explore the secrets of other cultivators. But she really couldn't figure it out. Why Li Su can grow this so fast. Even if he got the inheritance in the Xianmen ruins, Li Su has been taking concubines for more than 10 years. Not only taking concubines, Li Su's children are also born one after another. This shows that Li Su has not been idle, always been. Li Su half-jokingly said, maybe it's because I have a lot of concubines that I grow up so fast. He naturally wouldn't say own gold finger. But Li Su took a concubine and grew up so fast at the same time, it was hard for others to feel that it was abnormal, so Li Su simply joked about it himself. Others find it unbelievable, however, this time. Maybe Li Su saved Lu Xinyue and turned her head into a love brain. She looked at Li Su and said, Li Su, really? Fake. Li Su said. Lu Xinyue smiled sweetly. Li Su, how about I also be your concubine? Maybe it can make you grow faster. Lu Xinyue's words made Li Su look at her involuntarily. This girl. Are you kidding me or are you serious? She is now the 4th level cultivator of nascent soul, and she is also in charge of a 4th rank fairy gate together with Lu Xinshui. The status in the north is also exceptionally high. I don't know how many cultivators in the north regard her as the dream goddess. This is actually to give myself peace. Not even the identity of a wife. Will her sister? Will agree. Li Su, let me tell you the truth, you saved my life, and I will help you, but after I marry you, I still want to live in Shuiyumen. When you miss me, you can come and see me. Lu Xinyue blinked her eyes. This is for real. Xinyue, be my concubine, but you are going to have a baby. Li Su said. Give birth. Okay. Li Su, how many do you want to have? We'd better have daughters, like Meng Meng. I like Meng Meng so much, it's so cute. These 2 words did not scare Lu Xinyue. The flying boat rushed past Linhai City, but did not stay here. Immediately afterwards, the flying boat rushed all the way to Shueui Gate. What, Xin Yue, are you going to marry Li Su and be her concubine? In the Shueui Gate, when Lu Xinyue came back, what she said shocked her sister. Well, sister, I have already decided, Lu Xinyue said. Lu Xinshui stared at her and looked again. You have been more stubborn than me since you were young. Since you like him so much, I can't stop you, but are you sure Zhang is a concubine? Lu Xinyue nodded. Well, in fact, wives and concubines don't matter, sister. We are all immortal cultivators, there is no need to be like ordinary people. Hearing Lu Xinyue's words, Lu Xinshui was helpless. She sighed. Unexpectedly, his little sister fell so soon. A huge team of marriage proposals flew to Shueui Gate in dozens of flying boats. A large number of invitations have been sent out. In the northern border, an extremely heavy news was cast. The little sister of the Shueui Gate, Lu Xin, among the twin sisters named as the Northern Shuangzu, is going to marry Ji Su in 5.2 months. As soon as this news came out, it shocked the cultivator in the northern border. Master, Li Senior is going to take a concubine again. In Loyan sect, a disciple ran to the Great Hall to report. At this time, in the Great Hall, the head of the Loyan sect was discussing matters with a group of gold core elders. A concubine again? Ku elder, this time it's up to you to give the congratulatory gift. The head of Loyan sect didn't have much reaction. After all, Li Su had been a concubine for more than 10 years before, and he had been numbed by shock again and again. Yes, master. Ku elder said. Sect leader, I'm afraid you will have to go in person this time to make sense. The disciple said. Zakong, what are you talking about? Even if Li Su is the nascent soul middle stage, he has taken so many concubines, and if he takes another concubine, he won't let the leader go in person. A gold core elder immediately scolded. This disciple was his apprentice, and he was worried that this apprentice would say something wrong and make the master unhappy. The other gold core elders also frowned. Why is this disciple Wei so incapable of speaking? In the past 10 years, many gold core elders have traveled across the northern border. Li Su took so many concubines, the gold core elder would have enough face. Are you still in charge now? The disciple hurriedly said. No, head, the concubine Li Senior took this time has a special status. No matter how special it is, it's still a concubine. His master interrupted him. Master, listen to me, Li Senior's concubine this time is Lu Xinyue from Shuiyumen. The disciple finally finished speaking. What? A gold core elder almost jumped up. In this great hall, there was also a moment of silence, and everyone had a look of disbelief on their faces. He wants Na Lu Xinyue. The head of Loyan sect was also shocked. What? Li Su wants Na Lu Xinyue. Naturally, this news spread not only to Loyan sect, but also to several other immortal sects. Unsurprisingly, everyone in the Fairy Gate was overwhelmed with shock. After the baptism of Li Su's continuous taking of concubines in the past 10 years, the people in these immortal sects are no strangers to Li Su's love of taking concubines. After all, Li Su has taken so many concubines in the past 10 years. Almost all the top-notch foundation establishment female nuns in the rogue cultivators were accepted. In the past 10 years or so, the entire northern border has been numb with shock amid Li Su's waves of concubines. But this time, Li Su actually took Lu Xinyue down. Moreover, Li Su is still a concubine this time. Lu Xinyue, who is on the 4th floor of Nascent Soul, is willing to give it to Dr. Su. How could this not surprise several fairy gates? Friend Li Dao is so efficient. This time, I'm afraid I have to make a trip. The head of Dangshizone was also surprised when he got the news. Then people prepared a congratulatory gift. This time, although Li Su is still taking a concubine, the concubine is different, but a nascent soul middle stage. She is also the little sister of the Shueui sect. No matter what he did, he had to make a trip. There was also Nascent Soul, who felt dejected there after hearing it. Lu Xinshui and Lu Xinyue are the pearls of the northern border. I don't know how many cultivators in the northern border regard them as goddesses and want to marry them back home. There is also Nascent Soul who also has a good impression of them. However, Lu Xinshui and Lu Xinyue are not weak, and they have never been tempted by anyone. These nascent souls' favors can only stay in favor. Now, seeing that, my mind was actually given to Su. How does this not hurt people? Of course, this nascent soul won't do anything even if it hurts. Cut off the thread of love, and the heart of the sun will follow the Tao. Now nascent soul has a decision. He wants to take Lu Xinyue as his concubine? In the Bixia sect, Bai Luo couldn't help being startled when he got the news. She just left the customs not long ago. This time, Bila closed-door training took a long time. The harvest brought by closed-door training is also good. She has already completed the gold core and is only one step away from nascent soul. With Bixiazong's resources and her own aptitude, it's not a big problem for her to become a nascent soul. It is not too late to go to strike after adjusting the state and making complete preparations. She didn't expect to hear the news as soon as the closed-door training ended, and she was a little surprised immediately. Even she wants to be Li Su's concubine. Bai Luo couldn't figure it out. However, thinking of Lu Xinyue's character, she vaguely understood. Perhaps, from her point of view, a wife or a concubine is not important. Bai Luo thought. Different immortal cultivators have different personalities. Some immortal cultivators are very free and easy. Even if their aptitude is average, they can still live in an unusually chic way. There are also immortal cultivators who would rather die of old age than find a companion. With Lu Xinyue's personality, perhaps she really doesn't care about her worldly status. After thinking about it, Bai Luo decided to go to Li Su and Lu Xinyue's wedding to take a look. My God, have you heard the news? The moon fairy from the Water Moon Gate is going to marry Li Suji Sr. What? Li Su took down the moon fairy. I've also heard that Li Sr. is too powerful, he's the moon fairy. This news not only caused shock among the various immortal gates. Soon, the news spread among the great fairy cities in the northern border, and the cultivators in the northern border who had heard of it were also shocked. Lu Xinshui and Lu Xinyue, in the northern border, one is a water fairy and the other is a fairy. However, these two titles were more popular when they were below nascent soul. As they all came to nascent soul, they became the peak combat power of the northern border and became senior. These two titles are naturally not mentioned so frequently. I heard that Moon Fairy is still a concubine for Li Sr. No, she's the nascent soul middle stage. I heard that Li Sr. has invited the cultivators all over the world to attend his wedding. We're fine anyway. Let's go and have a look. In each fairy city, the number of cultivators in the north that have been discussed has skyrocketed. Now there are not as many cultivators in the Immortal City as there were in the Immortal Ascension Conference more than 10 years ago. But there are also some. With the spread of these cultivators, the news quickly spread in the north. Soon, a large number of immortal cultivators also set off, preparing to attend this wedding. This wedding, in the north, can be said to be the most grand in the past 1,000 years in the north. This is the combination of two nascent soul cultivators, and it hasn't happened in the north for a long time. Otherwise, why did the heads of those immortal sects take action in person? The entire northern border became lively as a result. Nascent soul is on the 8th floor. When there was a sensation in the north about Li Su's marriage to Lu Xinyue, Li Su whispered in Li's mansion. After returning from Beihai, the Li family was still preparing for the marriage, and Li Su's strength had been improved again. From the 7th floor of nascent soul, to the 8th floor of nascent soul. Not only that, but Li Su's spiritual roots has finally reached the 5th rank. It is precisely because the spiritual roots reached the 5th rank, and after Li Su received the 3,000-year cultivation base, his strength finally reached the 8th level of nascent soul. Otherwise, the 6th rank spiritual roots is still the top nascent soul, and the 3,000-year cultivation base, in the nascent soul late stage, really can't rise to a level. This cultivation base cannot be hung in the system all the time. If you don't claim it for 1 year, you will get it automatically. Therefore, if Li Su wants to get stuck with bugs, such as getting spiritual roots stuck to the 4th rank before claiming it, it is impossible. Moreover, there is no need to be stuck with bugs. It is much more difficult to upgrade from 5th rank to 4th rank than to upgrade from 6th rank to 5th rank. It also takes longer. This time, Li Su gave birth to more than 100 descendants of spiritual roots, and there are many descendants above 6th rank, which made spiritual roots rise from 6th rank to 5th rank. If it is 5th rank to 4th rank, much more offspring of spiritual roots are needed. The 5th rank spiritual roots is not too bad, you can already enter a decent fairy gate. Like the 7 great immortal gates in the north, the 5th rank spiritual roots, there is no problem in entering. In the previous Wang Shenzhou, 5th rank spiritual roots had no problem achieving gold core, and becoming nascent soul depended on good fortune. In the northern border, 5th rank spiritual roots can achieve gold core, and there is no problem. The hope of becoming nascent soul is much higher than that of Wang Shenzhou. In fact, if subdivided, the spiritual roots above the 6th rank can also be subdivided, such as the lower 6th rank, the middle 6th rank, and the upper 6th rank. Of course, no one divides it so finely. If they are all in 6th rank, the gap is not too big, there are some gaps in cultivation speed and breakthrough bottleneck. With 5th rank spiritual roots, even the top nascent soul, Li Su's speed of becoming a god of transformation will be faster. He is in a good mood. I can go to meet my relatives. In the Li residence, it was already lively. A large number of guests came from all over the world. The scale of guests this time is unprecedented. The secular people in Luo City also opened their eyes once. Old man. How old are you? On a long stone, several gray-haired old men sat side by side, watching the flying boats flying densely in the sky. The person who asked the question was a woman in a long skirt who looked like a fairy. I am 96 today. Girl, you are so beautiful, you must be a fairy? Girl. Are you also here to attend Li Shenren's wedding? Have you ever met Li Shenren? I heard that any girl will fall in love with Li Shenren as soon as she sees him. Yes, even fairies will fall in love with him. Since I can remember, Immortal Li has been taking concubines, and I can basically eat from Li Xian's family every year. Now that I am gray-haired, Immortal Li is still taking concubines. It was not easy for someone to talk to them, and all the old men spoke one by one. Li Shenren takes so many concubines, how does he treat his concubines? The woman asked again. Okay, to be honest, look at us in Los Angeles. There are beautiful women everywhere. They are here for Li Shenren. I don't know how many people want to marry Li Shenren, but Li Shenren's requirements are too high. That's right, more than 100 years ago, Li Shenren was still a fangirl, but recently, unless it is famous all over the world, Li Shenren will not take a second look. It's great to be Li Shenren's concubine. I heard that Li Shenren has an elixir, which can make his own concubine live forever, and the whole family will enjoy the blessing. A few elderly people who are nearly 100 years old said something to you, and I said something to each other. Talking about some things in Li Su's past, Li Su is also full of praise. Miss Jin Elder is here, let's talk about Jifu. At this time, a pretty maid came. Okay. Thank you, old folks. After the woman finished speaking, she flew into the sky with her maid. Fairy. The old men got excited one by one. There was such a beautiful fairy talking to them just now. They are all about to die, and this is the first time. Soon, the woman flew into a fleet of flying boats, which were the flying boats that Bixiazon came to attend the wedding and give gifts. This woman was naturally Bai Luo. This time Bixiazon also came to the wedding ceremony with a cultivator named Jin at the peak of nascent soul and an elder at the middle stage of nascent soul. Except for the Bixia sect, those from other immortal sects are basically the heads. Except for Lu Xinshui, people from the other 6 immortal sects all came. As for the sect leader, Shang Guangshui, he didn't come. Xiao Shui is in closed-door training, I didn't call her. It was Shang Guangshui's aunt who came. As for some small fairy sects, people from the nascent soul family came earlier. Several capable descendants of Li Su entertained many guests. Concubinage, the process is already too familiar, but this time the specifications have to be improved. I'm coming, someone shouted. In the sky, a team of big red flying boats came. Li Su is also in it. This time to marry Lu Xinyue, although she was still a concubine, Li Su rarely went out to greet her by herself. It took more than 10 days to go back and forth. Lu Xinshui also personally sent her own little sister over. It's so lively, the heads are all here. Yeah, It's a pity that I didn't see the head of the Bixia sect. It is said that he is the god of transformation. It's probably not in the northern border. The last time the Xianmen ruins were all made by Bai Sr. Some of the rogue cultivators who came to the wedding were buzzing. Just at this moment, an accident happened. A Taoist figure displayed a terrifying aura, suddenly rushed into the sky, and stopped in front of the wedding procession. This aura was overwhelming, and many cultivators were trembling from the pressure, their faces turning pale. Seeing this, several major sect masters released their breaths one after another, blocking the opponent's breath and spiritual pressure, which made the people below feel better. At the same time, several masters also flew into the sky. This is nascent soul. Where is nascent soul? Is this trying to make trouble? You have a new face. Could it be that you came from outside? Down below, many cultivators breathed a sigh of relief and started discussing one by one. Zhang Chao, you were at the nascent soul middle stage, but today is Li Dao's wedding day. What are you doing here? In the sky, the head of Dang Shizong recognized the other party, said. Zhang Chao, what's the matter? We'll talk about it later. The cultivator surnamed Jin also seemed to know each other, said in a deep voice. This matter has nothing to do with you, please don't meddle in your own business. After nascent soul finished speaking, he looked at Li Su. Li Su, right? Zhang has admired Xin Yue for many years, and heard that you took her as a concubine today, so she deliberately returned to the northern border. This is Xin Yue's decision. Zhang can't control it, but Zhang wants to ask, why did you get Xin Yue to be a concubine? Zhang Chao said coldly. Zhang Chao, this is Xin Yue's own decision, if you don't leave, I will not be polite. Lu Xinshui said in a cold voice. While speaking, she took a step forward, the real energy in her body vibrated, and she felt a little ready to do something. Zhang Chao snorted lightly. Li Su, you just hide. Before he finished speaking, his hands quickly sealed. Because Li Su has already launched an attack. This guy's reaction was also very fast, and magic treasures were thrown out in an instant. Boom. The sound of the collision resounded for hundreds of miles, and the complexions of many nascent souls changed, and they all shot together, suppressing the fluctuations brought about by the confrontation. Not good. Zhang Chao's magic treasures were no match at all. His pupils shrank, and a talisman was activated instantly, forming an impenetrable wall. But the wall shattered under Li Su's attack. At the critical moment, this guy hastily used another hole cards to barely block Li Su's attack. Using two hole cards at once is still very important for defense, and Quan Chao's heart aches. Not only did he feel distressed, but the corner of his mouth seemed to ooze blood. How could he be so strong? Zhang Chao was also shocked. According to the news he found, more than 10 years ago, Li Su was only on the 4th floor of Nascent Soul, and he was on the same level as him. But now it is so strong. On the opposite side, after Li Su took a blow, he didn't move anymore, and didn't say anything, but looked at him coldly. The gaze made Zhang Chao feel shuddering. It also made him realize that if it wasn't Li Su's wedding today, maybe he wouldn't be as simple as being injured this time. He also realized that if he jumps again, what awaits him is Li Su's fatal blow. Your Excellency, Zhang admires you. Zhang Chao wiped away the blood from the corner of his mouth with spirit power, and after saying a word, he flew into the distance in desperation. This time, his face was also completely lost. Using two hole cards that can block Nascent Soul's peak attack, unexpectedly, he was injured. Although Zhang Chao was leaving, the vibration started to rise. The surrounding Nascent Soul and other sect masters were already looking at Li Su with dull expressions. The strength Li Su showed in that blow just now was too terrifying. Everyone was a little surprised. Even the cultivator named Jin at the peak of Nascent Soul. Beside Li Su, Lu also looked at Li Su in a daze. More than 10 years ago, Li Su got the inheritance in the Xianmen ruins, and only reached the 4th floor of Nascent Soul. It has only been more than 10 years, and Li Su seems to be much stronger than her. In Lu Xinshui's perception, it's definitely not the 7th floor of Nascent Soul, it's probably the 8th floor of Nascent Soul. For more than 10 years, Nascent Soul has 8 floors. How can this not shock Lu Xinshui? How does Li Su cultivate? Do you eat elixir every day? There are also some realms that are not as strong as Li Su, and I am not sure about the specific realm of Ji. But they could feel the huge change in Li Su's aura. Friend Li Dao, have you reached the 8th floor of Nascent Soul? At this time, the surname cultivator spoke. He is the peak of Nascent Soul, and he has sensed Li Su's aura and spiritual pressure. Yes, senior. Li Su said. Around, there was a sound of sucking air. The cultivator surnamed Jin couldn't help being a little stunned. 8 layers of Nascent Soul. Sky. What a terrifying speed of cultivation. Is the inheritance in the Xianmen ruins so powerful? However, in their sect, basically all disciples have obtained the inheritance, and most of these inheritances are actually just the inheritance of Nascent Soul. Even if Li Su got a transformation inheritance, it wouldn't be so fast. Unless there is really the other party's condensed life cultivation base in it. In other words, Li Su's spiritual roots are more powerful spiritual roots than Xian's spiritual roots and holy spiritual roots? While each and every one of the nascent souls was shocked, they were also brainstorming and guessing about various possibilities. The expression on his face has also become extraordinarily exciting. Heart Moon. In the bridal chamber, Li Su lifted Lu Xinyue's red hijab. The beauty is like the moon, and the face is like the fragrant flowers of March. Lu Xinyue's gaze was full of shame. Tonight, destined to be a very romantic, very comfortable night. The heads of the Northern Territory have already returned. Some of the cultivators in the north still stay in the Los Angeles area, and some have left. The area around Los Angeles is becoming more and more prosperous now. This time Li Su's wedding made Li Su different again in the minds of many cultivators. The previous Li Su was Nascent Soul middle stage. Now Li Su has reached the Nascent Soul late stage. The weight of middle stage and late stage is completely different. Many cultivators are also speculating about how Li Su grew so fast. In Li's mansion, Li Su enjoyed a wonderful life. Although Lu Xinyue said that after marrying Li Su, she would still live in Shuiyumen, but for the first month before the wedding, Lu Xinyue stayed at Li's house. After this month, Xinyue is about to leave. She obtained sunflower water beads in Beihai, and is ready to use the sunflower water beads to improve her own strength. Sunflower water beads are not magic treasures, but strange objects in the sea used for cultivation. Li Su sent her back to Shuiyue Gate. The distance from Shuiyumen to Li's house is not too far. Faster flying boats usually only take 5 or 6 days. If it is a flying boat made by Li Su, 3 days is enough. Lu Xinyue's strength is not bad, and spiritual roots is not bad. For her, cultivation is the most important thing. Of course, for Li Su, having a baby is also important. Li Su, this is too precious, I can't do it. Inside the Shuiyue Gate, Lu Zinshui's voice sounded. Because after Li Su sent Lu Xinyue back, he gave her a sunflower drop. Li Su got a total of dozens of sunflower drops, which she doesn't even need. Moreover, the long-term use of Kuai Shuiju gold core is very wasteful. At least Nascent Soul must be used for a period of time. It is more effective for people of water system cultivation technique. Like Qin Xiaoyue, the head of the sect, they don't need it. Lu Zinshui, Lu Xinyue, a pair of twin sisters, and his daughter Mengmeng are all needed. Mengmeng Li Su will keep some for her. It will be many years before she needs to use sunflower water drops. So, Li Su gave Lu Zinshui one. The current Lu Zinshui is his sister-in-law. After Lu Zinshui got this sunflower water droplet, she should be able to reach the Nascent Soul late stage faster, and even go further. However, Lu Zinshui felt that it was too precious. Not ready to accept. Li Su forced it into her hand. Sister Zinshui, I still have a lot of sunflower beads, let me know after I use them up. Lu Bingchao blushed slightly when Li Su grabbed her little hand and forced it. Sister, just accept it, beside, Lu Xinyue said. On the way here, Li Su gave a general explanation, saying that he found some drops of water in a dangerous place below. Seeing Li Su giving sunflower water beads to her sister, Lu Xinyue was also a little moved and felt that Li Su treated her better. So, this night, Li Su did not leave. Lu Xinyue is also obedient to Li Su. As a nascent soul middle stage, she is very willing to cooperate with Li Su, posing. Oh, I'm sorry. Early the next morning, Lu Xinyue suddenly remembered something. What's up? April, Li Su asked. Husband, I forgot one thing, we are here. My sister will be very embarrassed. Lu Xinyue said. What's the meaning? Lu Xinyue's pretty face was also slightly red. She said, Husband, it's like this, my sister and I have a telepathic connection since we were young, and sometimes even the pain in her hand will be transmitted to me. When she said this, Li Su understood a little bit. There are some twins that do have telepathy. Not only is there a tacit understanding, but sometimes the feeling of the body will be transmitted to the other body. If it's far away, it's nothing. Now that I'm back at Shueui Gate, it's so close. Didn't sister last night? Lu Xinyue was talking, but couldn't continue. Although I have been married to Li Su for a month, this month I was married to Li Su. But when it comes to this aspect, she is still very shy. On this day, it was inevitable to meet Lu Xinku. Lu Xinshui didn't have closed-door training. Li Su was still there, she wanted closed-door training, and she wanted to send Li Suli away. Lu Xinshui looked normal. Can't see any abnormalities. Maybe my sister won't feel about that matter, right? After quietly observing Lu Xinshui, Lu Xinyue said. She was relieved. Li Su didn't mean to leave yet, so Lu Xinyue naturally wouldn't drive Li Su away. Night fell. Heart moon. Another fantastic night. Here we go again. On the other side, Lu Xinshui's face was already red to the neck. She didn't think about this before, until Lu Xinyue came back. Last night, while she was practicing, she suddenly had a strange feeling. Unexpectedly, tonight again. Lu Xinshui was embarrassed, uncomfortable, and helpless. But the next day, she was pretending nothing had happened. On this day, Li Su Beishan accompanied Mengmeng and watched Mengmeng's cultivation results. Wow, Dad, you are so amazing. Mengmeng clapped her hands because Li Su was demonstrating the use of a spell for her. Although she is already a big girl, Li Su's performance is still that innocent little girl. Around, besides Mengmeng, there are also many female cultivators from Shuiyumen. In the past few days, with the arrival of Li Su, the Watergate has become extremely lively. One must know that at ordinary times, few disciples can be seen in the Shueui Gate. Most people are practicing. Who has been wandering outside all the time? Under normal circumstances, in the Fairy Gate, some outer sect disciples with average qualifications will be arranged to be on duty, and other disciples may not be seen once every few years. However, after Li Su came, more Shuiyumen disciples came out to do activities. Another night fell. At night, Lu Xinyue's expression became a little shy. Because she knew what Li was going to do. Husband, my sister is a little weird today, we still. Lu Xinyue noticed something unusual today. But who would have imagined that, before he could speak, Ji Su. And Li Su also seemed special. Time passed day by day. In the blink of an eye, Li Su had been staying in the Watermoon Gate for half a month. Lu Xinyue naturally didn't want Li Su to leave. However, as she observed, she found that her sister's expression during the day became more and more unnatural. This made Lu Xinyue sure that the telepathy between her sister and her probably existed. But Lu Xinyue had nothing to do with Li Su. Sister, why don't you go to closed-door training? Anyway, there is nothing to do now. I will practice again after my husband leaves. Lu Xinyue said. Lu Xinshui shook her head. No, I have to see Li Su off when he leaves. The current Shueui Gate can be regarded as Lu Xinyue's natal family, although the secular etiquette is not so restrictive for cultivators. But Li Su is now his own brother-in-law, and he gave her such a treasure as sunflower beads. Naturally, Lu Xinshui couldn't go to closed-door training now. And, in the current situation, how can she close door training? At night. Here we go. The key is how long Li Su has been struggling recently. Now Lu Xinshui felt a little embarrassed seeing Li Su. After all, the feeling that came from was too real. But she had to see again, and had to pretend not to know anything. This also made Lu Xinshui extremely helpless. If she wasn't a nascent soul cultivator, she should have dark circles on her eyes recently. After another half a month, Li Su still hadn't left. He had stayed in the Water Moon Gate for a whole month. This month can be said to be like a year. Really, every night Li Su basically. It's also difficult during the day, she still can't show abnormalities. Otherwise it would be so embarrassing. Because of this, Lu Xinshui didn't notice some changes in disciplines. Now when Li Su is active in sect every day, many disciples rest their chins with their hands from a distance, watching Li Su in a daze. And this month later, on this day, finally, I felt a change in my heart. Husband, I seem to have it, Lu Xinyue said. Have. Li Su put his head on Lu Xinyue's stomach and listened. Really? Lu Xinyue also has his baby. Sister, don't worry, it's only a year's delay, and my lifespan is still more than 1,000 years. Lu Xinyue was already mentally prepared. Naturally, Lu Xinshui couldn't stop her. Lu Xinshui finally breathed a sigh of relief. Because after Lu Xinyue became pregnant, Li Su finally didn't write about Lu Xinyan. Li Su still stayed, besides accompanying Lu Xinyue, well, the concubines he had taken in the Shueui Gate also left the seclusion. In the past half-month, Li Su also spent some time with her. He actually wanted Lu Xinyue to go to Li's house, but think about it, Lu Xinyue has been at Shueui Gate for more than 1,000 years, so let her be here. Li Su, don't worry, I will take good care of Xinyue. Lu Xinshui rode. Li Su was naturally relieved of her. Jingping, Tianzan, you also want to marry Li Su? However, soon, Lu Xinshui faced a new problem. After Li Su stayed here for nearly 3 months, some disciples in the Watergate also wanted to marry Ji Su. It's fine if there is no precedent. You know, the former gold core nun of Watermoon Gate was also married to Li Su. The other party is also living in the Shueui Gate now, and Li Su did not force her to go home. After setting a precedent, some female disciples naturally want to marry Li Su after being attracted by Li Su. Okay. Lu Xinshui had no other choice. Now the relationship with Li Su is here. Li Su is still so good to her, and the disciples in the sect are voluntary, and after marrying Li Su, they will not leave the Shueui Gate. Lu Xinshui had no choice but to agree. Then, not long after Li Su went back, he started taking concubines again. This time, the objects of the concubine were several disciples of the Shueui sect. The Water Moon Gate is full of beautiful female cultivators. This time, Li Su's concubine also attracted the attention of some cultivators. But there was no such big commotion when she married Lu Xinyue. For a cultivator, cultivation is the most important thing after all. Some cultivators have been doing closed-door training for a long time, but they still don't know that Li is married to Lu Xiner. It took nearly a year to marry these female cultivators to queens. The bellies of several female cultivators also grew bigger one after another. In the second year, Lu Xinyue gave birth to Li Su. Gave birth to a baby. It's a girl. Lu Xinyue was very happy. She likes her daughter more, and her daughter can stay in Shuiyumen for training, instead of being sent to other fairy doctors. Let's call it Lu Xiaoshu. Lu Xinyue named her first daughter with Li Su. Originally, she wanted to marry Lu Su, so she took a character from her and Ji Su's names each. But the name sounded a little unisex, so she added a small. Li Su is the third-rank spiritual roots. Soon, the girl's spiritual roots was detected, and she was also a third-rank spiritual roots. That's good luck. Lu Xinyue's own spiritual roots are actually mediocre, only fourth-rank spiritual roots, incomparable to Yu and the sect leader. You know, Lu Xinyue is more than 1,000 years old, and she is still on the 4th floor of nascent soul. And Yu is less than 400 years old. Although there are devil cultivator factors, Yu's cultivation aptitude is also better. Sometimes luck is also important. For example, 2 mortals may also give birth to celestial spiritual roots, or even celestial spiritual roots. But you also have to think about the base. How many mortals are there in this world? Among so many mortals, only those 2 mortals gave birth to the spiritual roots. From this point of view, among the rewards Li Su received, the chance of increasing the chance of excellent spiritual roots is also starting to work. It's just that this effect cannot be a dense burst all at once. Instead, put it under a large base, and in a longer period of time, there will be more. After the first daughter was born, she was still raised in the Shueui gate. Not only is this girl's spiritual roots third rank, she has a good physique since she was born, and she actually has the aura of sunflower water in her body. This is the sign of an innate master. Husband, when I was pregnant, are you okay? I used the energy of sunflower water beads to nourish her, so that after she is born, her physique will be better and she can practice earlier. Lu Xinyue said. Sunflower drops also have such a role? Ordinary children can only practice at the age of 12. But this girl is probably 10 years old, or even 8 years old. Early practice is also beneficial. The child has a simple mind, and she can learn quickly what was taught to her, and she can develop more good cultivation habits. Cultivation habits are very important. Different cultivation habits sometimes bring different efficiencies and effects. So, Li Su stuffed Lu Xinyue with 2 sunflower water drops. Lu Xinshui specially invited many mortal maids and mothers to take care of the baby. Immediately afterwards, another concubine in the Water Moon Gate also gave birth to a baby for Li Su. Why are you here again? 1 month after Lu Xinyue gave birth to Li Su's baby, Lu Xinshui began to feel awkward again. Because Li Su and Lu Xinyue are at Shueui Gate, she had another extremely difficult and embarrassing month. Finally he breathed a sigh of relief, but within a few days, Lu Xinyue found her. Sister, I have it again. What? There was surprise in Lu Xinshui's eyes. Why are you pregnant again, Xinyue? Are you going to give birth? Lu Xinshui asked. Lu Xinyue nodded heavily. Of course, sister, I'm going to give birth. There's nothing to delay. Okay. Lu Xinshui had nothing to do with her. This year, she did not delay. She herself was close to the nascent soul late stage, and with the help of sunflower water drops, she successfully broke through the nascent soul late stage. Came to the 7th floor of nascent soul. With sunflower water drops, Lu Xinshui is sure to transform into a god, but it will take a long time. Higher, she didn't think about it. Being able to become a god of transformation is already very good. In the entire Northern Territory, up to now, there is only one Washan on the surface. Soon, Lu Xinyue's 3rd child was born. Sister, I have it again. What? Within a few months, I had my heart water again. Xinyue, why do you have it again? Lu Xinshui was shocked. This is the 3rd one. Lu Xinyue is too capable of giving birth. No, it should be said that Ji Su is too good at making people. In the past few years, every time Li Su comes here, which time is it not? Lu Xinshui has a deep understanding. Seeing that Lu Xinyue was going to continue giving birth, she could only follow Lu Xinyue's mind. Sister, I have it again, but after the baby was born, within a few months, Lu Xinyue actually had another baby. This is the 4th. Lu Xinshui was a little numb. Let's give birth, she said. Xinyue, this child is born. Let's stop for a while, can't you take some measures? A few years later, Lu Xinshui couldn't bear it anymore. Really, Xinyue is too capable of giving birth. In 10 years, Lu Xinyue gave birth to 6 children. On average, one is born in a little over a year. This is simply, either giving birth to a baby, or on the way to giving birth to a baby. The spiritual roots of Lu Xinyue's babies are also pretty good. Of the 6 babies, only 1 male baby has no spiritual roots. The other babies have spiritual roots above rank 8. The best is still the baby of the first 3rd rank. Seeing that in the past 10 years, Lu Xinyue has been giving birth non-stop, Lu Shui is also a little speechless. If you were born like this, when will you be tall? But she is not easy to persuade. Well, my husband said that this child will not be born after it is born. Lu Xinyue nodded. Lu Xinshui breathed a sigh of relief. She was really worried that Lu Xinyue would continue to give birth like this. Although women can't keep having babies, cultivator's body is much stronger than ordinary people. If Lu Xinyue keeps giving birth, it is really possible to have dozens of babies. Sister, I suddenly want to be the head of the sect. Let me be the master for a few days. Let's change our clothes and hair accessories, as well as outside. Lu Xinyue suddenly became playful at this time, said. Okay. Lu Xinshui thought about it and agreed. In the past, When they were young, they sometimes liked to switch roles like this. Even their master can't detect it sometimes. After breaking through nascent soul, I rarely do this to my sisters. Just occasionally, Lu Xinyue wanted to be the head, and then changed identities with Lu Xinshui. Sister, let me tell you first, whoever pretends not to be good will lose. Lu Xinyue said. Lu Xinshui recalled the time with little sister when she was young, and smiled. Okay. However, she immediately remembered another thing. What if Li Su comes? Lu Xinshui asked. Come here when you come, sister, just pretend to be me. Lu Xinyue said. What? Lu Xinshui let out an ah. Then if he touches me, and at night? Lu Xinshui hurriedly said. Sister, at night, he will definitely be able to tell the difference. Lu Xinyue promised. Lu Xinshui still hesitated. Sister, just promise me. Lu Xinyue held her arm, acting like a baby. This was something Lu Xinyue hadn't done for many years, and Lu Xinshui's heart was touched. She said, and agreed. Sister, you must not be seen through, let me be the head of the house for a month. Lu Xinyue said happily. So, the two exchanged clothes, hair accessories, and even the house. Lu Xinyue has become the head of the sect, but she has a good appearance. Lu Xinshui played the role of Lu Xinyue. Perhaps the two sisters are too similar. Even Meng Meng didn't notice. Master Own has changed. For Lu Xinshui, dang little sister once in a while is not bad. Sister, in some cases, means greater responsibility. With her sister supporting her in front, little sister is much more relaxed. You don't have to think about it so much at all, and you can be more relaxed. However, only the third day, Li Su came. Heart Moon, as soon as Li Su came, she entered her room. This was originally Lu Xinyue's room, and, as soon as he came, he grabbed her little hand. Lu Xinshui's face turned red immediately. She subconsciously wanted to say that she was not Lu Xinyue. But I don't know why. Maybe it was because Lu Xinyue wanted to be the head of the sect for a month, but she couldn't say it. Why are you still so shy? Let's go and see our daughter. Li Su took Lu Xinshui's hand and was going to see her daughter. Li. Husband, they are taking a nap, don't disturb them. Lu Xinshui imitated Lu Xinyue's tone. Not to mention, under the circumstances of deliberate imitation, her and Lu Xinyue's voices are exactly the same. The reason why I don't go to see my daughter is because my daughter can recognize who is the mother and who is the aunt. This is almost instinctive for children. Okay, let's go for a walk. Li Su took her little hand and went out. While walking, talking to, Lu Xinshui's heart was beating quite fast, but under Li Su's soft voice, she rarely relaxed. And, slowly, she put herself into Lu Xinyue's role. Only then did I realize that it was such a happy thing to be held by Li Su for a walk in the mountains. Lu Xinshui now somewhat understands why Lu Xinyue is so obsessed with Li Su. She has practiced for more than 1,000 years, and she has never considered the relationship between men and women in the past. Practice is not boring. It is also a very pleasant thing for a cultivator to increase his strength little by little. Not only is it not boring, but practice is also addictive. Even immortal cultivators with poor spiritual roots will be very happy to cultivate as long as they can taste the sweetness. Of course, if the spiritual roots is really bad, no matter how hard you practice, the cultivation base can't improve much, it will be very depressing. However, for more than 10 years, Li Su and Lu Xinyue often showed their affection in front of her. It is impossible to say that you are not envious. At night, it can even let her experience a. Lu Xinshui's heart will change somewhat. Now, after being dragged by Lu Xinyue to switch roles, Xiaomin is being dragged by Ji Su like this. Lu Xinshui's heart slowly showed signs of melting. Then, this afternoon, Lu Xinshui spent most of the afternoon with Ji Su as Lu Xinyue. She even liked this feeling a little bit. Ah, husband. Li Su, you are here. In the evening, I finally met Lu Xiner. Lu Xinyue almost didn't react for a while, but fortunately she reacted quickly. Then, she pretended to be Lu Xinshui. Li Su, this time, I will spend more time with Xinyue for a few more days. It is not easy for Xinyue to have given birth to so many children for you. Lu Xinyue pretended to be. Lu Xinshui kept trying to show her face, because it was getting dark. Lu Xinyue acted as if she didn't see it. As the sky was getting late, Lu Xinshui's heart became more and more tense. Except when Lu Xinyue was pregnant, whenever Li Su came, it wasn't just at night. But no matter how Lu Xinshui winked, Lu Xinyue didn't answer her, and even said a word to Li Su, she ran away. Xinyue, it's getting late, let's go to rest. Then, Li Su pulled Lu Xinshui into the bedroom. I haven't seen her for several months, Li Su misses her quite a bit. Why hasn't he recognized me yet? Lu Xinshui was very worried. As a nascent soul late stage, the most basic thing is not to be alarmed by changes. But now, Lu Xinshui panicked uncontrollably. In such an environment, there is no way not to panic. She was wondering what to do. Li Su didn't seem to realize that she was her sister this afternoon. In the dark at night, in the private space, I will not use divine sense to sweep around. How could he find out? It seems only until the last moment. Xinyue didn't do it on purpose. Lu Xinshui thought suddenly. How could it be such a coincidence that Lu Xinyue only asked her to be the head of the sect 3 days ago, and wanted to change identities with her? As a result, Li Su came. She couldn't help but wonder if Lu Xinmu did it on purpose. Lu Xinshui wanted to tell Li Su the truth, but she didn't know why. But she still couldn't open her mouth. In the past 10 years, Li Su has come here from time to time. Every time she comes, Lu Xinshui will passively experience a. Lu Xinshui remembered a long time ago. Little sister joked that if they marry in the future, they must marry the same person, otherwise it will be embarrassing. 10 years have passed. Lu Xinshui's feelings towards Li Su have already quietly changed. In her heart, she is actually very envious of her own little sister. But she is more reserved. It is almost impossible for her to be like Lu Xinyue. It's not a bad thing to be able to achieve a good thing with Li Su in a muddle like now. What am I thinking? Lu Xinshui's face blushed. Xinyue, what's wrong with you? Li Su's voice sounded. Ah, it's okay. Lu Xinshui was startled. Her reaction made Li Su feel a little strange. However, Li Su didn't think much, picked her up, and Lu Xinshui's body froze. Xinyue was really lying to her. Li Su didn't recognize her during the day. How could he recognize her at night? Only. This time, she chose to close her eyes. Not Xinyue? Finally, after a few minutes, Li Su knew. Not Xinyue. Who else? Could it be Lu Xinshui? Li Su Beishan really didn't recognize Lu Xinshui, because the two sisters are so similar and have exactly the same temperament. The fragrance on Lu Xinshui's body was even the same as Lu Xinyue's. Plus Li Su didn't think too much. I couldn't tell the difference. But this time, naturally no. Li Su was a little embarrassed, but at the same time did not understand what the two sisters were doing. Looking at Lu Xinshui with her eyes closed, Li Su felt dark again. Wrong is wrong, then. He decided to be wrong. The first ray of sunshine in the morning. Li Su opened his eyes. Then he saw Lu Xinshui's beautiful face. Lu Xinshui was already awake, but she was pretending to be asleep. Then, she regretted it, because Li Su started. Husband, you have to thank me. At noon, Lu Xinyue laughed. There was still some blush on Lu Xinyue's face, and her face became even redder upon hearing this. Sure enough, Lu Xinyue did it on purpose, deliberately fulfill. Li Su and Sister Own. Li Su grabbed Lu Xinshui's little hand. Xin Shui, I will marry you this month. Then. Soon, in the northern border, another news came out. Li Su wants Na Lu's heart. This time, it was still Nazan. Although Lu Xinshui's strength is stronger, little sister Lu Xinyue didn't care about her worldly status, and Lu Xinshui didn't mention it. If she asked for the title of a regular wife, it would embarrass Lu Xinyue again. And Lu Xinshui looked further. Although she is already in the nascent soul late stage now. In the northern border, there is already the existence of the top of the pyramid. However, she is very satisfied to be able to reach Washan in this life. As for Li Su, in her opinion, it is absolutely impossible to just transform into a god, but to go further. Li Su's spiritual roots, in her opinion, as absolutely terrifying. Probably no less than the legendary fairy spiritual roots. In the future, maybe he can become a fairy or a god. Immortals. That was something she didn't even dare to think about. Why not be a concubine to such a person, or someone you have a crush on? This news, with the issuance of the invitation, quickly spread in the northern border. What? Li Su is going to be the head of the Shueyui sect again. The head of Spirit Beast sect heard the news and stood up. Yes, sect leader, this is an invitation from the Li family. A disciple handed over the invitation. After reading the invitation, Spirit Beast sect took a deep breath. He didn't expect that Li Su would take a concubine again. What's more, the one who received this one was Lu Xinshui, the head of Shueyui sect, who was about to reach the nascent soul late stage. Well, although Lu Xinshui has reached the nascent soul late stage, it hasn't been reported yet. This time, it was even more astonishing than Liu Xinyue. The head is going in person again. You won't say. Li Su accepted the head of the Shueyui sect this time, right? In Luoyunzong, an elder's voice sounded. Yes, the head, Li Su accepted this time. It is indeed the head of the Shueyui sect. That disciple said. What? The elder stood up abruptly, and the sect leader of the Falling Cloud sect couldn't sit still anymore. Accepted a fairy sect head. The news quickly spread to other sects as well. Not surprisingly, the heads of these fairy sects were a little surprised. The strength of Shuiyumen also ranks upstream among the 7 immortal gates in the northern border. Now, even the head of the sect has to give Li Su a degree. The people in the fairy gate were shocked again. Many sect masters also set off again every day. This time the wedding, they naturally want to attend. I didn't expect that even the head of Xinyue would be willing to be her concubine. 10 years ago, I just recruited the moon fairy, and now I have to recruit the water fairy, who is still the head of the immortal sect. Li Senior is heaven-defying. Shuiyumen is so powerful. It is said that the head of Shuiyumen is almost at the nascent soul late stage. Why is he still willing to be Li Senior's concubine? Li Senior is simply invincible. We must go to see this wedding. The cultivators in the northern border were shocked again. So, after the grand wedding 10 years ago, another even grander wedding began. Li Su once again became the center of the north. Li Su. Master. This time, Li Su finally met his own master, Fei Shen sect. He and Shizun have not seen each other for many years, because Shizun has been in closed-door training these years. Rarely come out. Seeing Shizun again, Li Su saw that Shizun has entered the nascent soul middle stage, and her growth is also very fast. Not only that, Li Su feels a little different about the current master. Her foundations should have been repaired. Congratulations. After the head left the customs, he was a little surprised to hear that Li Su was taking a concubine. She was not surprised to accept ordinary concubines. But Li Su actually gave Lu Xinyue and Lu Xinshui a pair of twins. This also gave the headmaster a new understanding of Li Su's charm. Soon after the grand wedding, Xinshui followed in Lu Xinshi's footsteps. She soon had Li Su's baby. Then, it couldn't stop. At an average rate of 1 in a year and a half, Lu Xinshui gave birth to 3 children within just 5 years of marrying Li Su. Lu Xinshaisheng's first baby, Spiritual Roots, is average, only 5th rank. But when it comes to the 3rd baby, Spiritual Roots has reached the 4th rank. Looking at it this way, 3rd rank Spiritual Roots is also unattainable. Lu Xinshui's Spiritual Roots is obviously better than Lu Xinyue's, but none of the 3 children reached 3rd rank Spiritual Roots. But the baby she gave birth to, Spiritual Roots, is not bad. Sister, do you have another one? It was Lu Xinyue's turn to care about her. Although Lu Xinshui is also very happy to have a baby for Li Su. But she didn't expect that she could give birth like this. Soon, she had her 4th baby. Not long after the 4th baby was born, Lu Xinshui's 5th baby came again. Sister, if this continues, you will be able to give birth better than me. Lu Xinyue couldn't help saying. It's true. Can't stop.